7 years. The move avoids more aggressive steps to tame inflation that the U.S. Federal Reserve and other banks have taken. It's the bank's seventh straight move to increase borrowing costs as rising food and energy prices in the U.K. fuel a cost of living crisis that's considered the worst in a generation.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan apologizing in court today over his outburst against a female judge during a rally last month. It was viewed as a threat to the judiciary and judges in general. The apology may allow Khan to stay out of jail to avoid contempt charges. Khan was ousted in a no-confidence vote in April. News and analysis at townhall.com. Walmart is tweaking its hiring practices.
The retailer is taking a cautious approach to the holiday shopping season, announcing it will hire 40,000 U.S. workers for the holidays, a majority of them seasonal workers. Walmart's now focusing on hiring seasonal workers only rather than permanent workers. Just like in past years, it will first offer current workers the opportunity to pick up additional shifts if they want to earn extra money for the holidays. Companies that typically hire thousands of seasonal workers are again heading into the holidays during one of the tightest job markets in decades, making it again challenging to find the workers they need. Keith Peters reporting.
Walmart and Target plan to begin offering deals and price-matching offers earlier this year to keep up with Americans being squeezed by inflation and looking for ways to avoid the pain of holiday shopping this year. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel witch and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock, welcome to a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Oh, that's right, I ain't he. That wouldn't be me. No, Mixmaster Mike Winters off today. He's heading down to El Paso, which roughly translated means the pass. Right?
The Paso.
Yeah, the Paso. Yeah, he's heading down to El Paso. Basically, just for a follow-up for Kim. All things go normal today. She'll be back to work on Monday. She was hoping to kind of go back and kind of get things going this week, but because she's not quite to full capacity, they couldn't bring her back yet. But hopefully this trip to El Paso will fix everything and we'll be back to semi-normalcy. But yes, Mixmaster Mike is out the building today. He'll be back inside your radios, barring any complications, tomorrow for your finally Friday morning. Welcome to your Thursday, the penultimate day of your work and or school week. Now get up, get at 'em, and let's do something about it. All right, kids, that's your fun new vocabulary word of the day. Say it with me now. Penultimate. It's the next to last. What that means.
Yeah.
How was your evening, Roy?
Evening?
Yeah, how was
morning?
How's your morning so far? How was your evening last night? How you doing?
It's can I complain for a
He's
second?
like, it's complicated. You know what? You got a microphone connected to a cable connected to the radio, so go ahead.
It's the driving. This town has a driver's ego problem.
Okay.
Or something.
I'm confused. Now, I will say this before you start. Right now, and I just recently put this together, we have 6, and I'm not one that usually jumps onto the whole astrology bandwagon, but right now we have 6 planets in retrograde.
Okay.
Mercury's in retrograde. I think Venus, Saturn, Mars, a couple others, and Uranus are all in retrograde. And in the past week, I have been not witness to, but I have seen and been privy to like 6 different horrifying car accidents just in the Roswell area. Like including my friend Misty and my friend Stephanie's son Blake was in a horrifying accident. And both are fine, but it's been a rough week for pretty much anybody on the road. Now, that being said, let's talk about the Roswell problem. What happened?
God forbid you go the speed limit, because there's always got to be someone that has to pass you, because they want to go 70 down the highway or whatever, and not even the highway, the little highway between the base and town and stuff. Even like in town, there's people who will swerve between cars and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and it's
lane dancing.
Yeah, and you might disagree with me on this. But
I disagree with you on this to a point.
These people need to be arrested.
Okay. Now listen, I know that we have fine members of the Roswell Police Department and the Sheriff's Department listening, but I say this. Yeah. The speed limit is not a suggestion, but if you go 5 over, nobody's going to kill you. All right? Nobody's going to pull you over for 5 over.
Sure.
All right?
Sure.
We are in agreement with this. Okay. Now, I do agree that there are some speed demons out there that need to slow down. That being said, I cannot stand getting stuck behind like an international harvester going 15 miles an hour down Old Dexter Highway. And yes, it's happened to me like 16 different times. It's so annoying, especially in the 2 lanes when I can't pass. So I do understand the perspective of somebody who likes to lane dance. I lived in Albuquerque for a period of time, and my roommate when I was in Albuquerque, he was kind of like that. He was a lane dancer. He used to, swerve around cars. Now, granted, he was super safe about it. He's the reason, to this day, I always check my blind spot before I merge into another lane. I never just check a mirror. I will always, and you'll see this, check my spot. And you saw that when we went to Artesia. I will always check my spot before I go.
Right.
Just because, and I drive a relatively small car, but still, I'm going to be sure. So that being said,
well, you always got a shoulder check.
I'm a bit of a lane dancer. I like to dance. Especially if I'm like in a hurry to get somewhere, it feels, when you're doing it, like when you're actually like pulling it off, it feels really cool. Like when there's a gap, I'm a sweep in there, 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 and then you end up at a stoplight with all the people that you just passed, and that's fine because you're at the front of the line, so it's fine. But so I agree to a point that yes, people need to kind of, I argue,
does it feel
drive
good?
More. Oh, it feels so good. I argue they need to drive more defensively for sure. For sure, people need to drive more defensively in this town and not offensively. Right. But that being said, I don't think there's anything wrong with a little bit of extra, push to it.
Right.
There's a way to drive defensively, but also aggressively.
I mean, the speed limit's already like, underneath what it should be. Like this, the streetlights in this town reward speeders. You're rewarded for speeding.
That's absolutely true. That being said, it is a school day, so let's bear that in mind. Slow down in school zones, please. Keep your eyes peeled for chillins. It's we're trying to keep everybody alive, safe, and happy so they can trudge into school and be sad. That's what it's all about. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. Coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour, we don't have a guest scheduled, at least not written down. Mike's notorious for not writing them down. But we don't have a guest scheduled for this hour, so we're going to replay the interview Mike had yesterday with Miss Andrea Moore from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, talking about all the stuff happening around Roswell, gearing up for festival season. We just wrapped up Piñata Fest. Obviously, Chili Cheese Fest is fast approaching. Then it's fair time, and it all goes nuts from there. But we'll dive into that interview coming up here in just a few minutes, around 15 minutes after or so. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, going to be sitting down chatting with the folks from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. The Dragonfly Festival just wrapped up. We'll kind of get a post-mortem on that and talk about what Bitter Lakes has coming up for the fall time season ahead and what you can expect out at that fantastic wildlife refuge. More on that coming up here in the 8 o'clock hour. In the 9 o'clock hour, we got Miss Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society going to be joining us. She's with us every single month, and she'll be talking about all the adorable adoptables waiting for you over at the Roswell Humane Society, your felines and your canines, plus things happening at the thrift store and all the other festivities happening around the Roswell Humane Society. We'll dive into that coming up here in the 9 o'clock hour, around 9:15 or so. Plus, of course, your hourly features, which include your Kim Commando update, Town Hall business news. We'll have your Sean Hannity update in the 9 o'clock hour. And, of course, anything else that comes across this hello desk here at 106.5. I gotta mention real quick, Roy, I think it's funny that, and I don't know if it's just because of over the course of time, I've logged into every single computer in this in this building with my YouTube. Now, I don't watch like your Netflix, your Hulu. There's a lot of programs out there that I've said I'm gonna watch,
Right.
but I don't, because I'm way more comfortable in my comfort zone, sitting on my couch watching YouTube. I almost strictly watch YouTube, which is why I pay for YouTube Premium. What's funny is I pay for YouTube Premium, but I've logged in on so many different places and have forgotten about it that I end up getting delivered or handed different people's algorithms. Like the stuff that Mike watches in this studio will pop up on my history. I know that because I've been getting a lot more Metallica videos lately, and I got a whole lot of mashups last night. He was he went on a little bit of a mashup wormhole after the show yesterday, which, by the way, I'm sure he'll bring up on the show tomorrow because he found some doozies.
Yeah.
He found some good ones, man. But yeah, so I'm privy to pretty much everyone else's algorithm. And so yesterday I was logging into my YouTube and I was handed a channel called Joel Haver. Now, if you're familiar at all with the technology of rotoscoping, this is basically what this guy has made a career out of. Basically, he films bits and then he animates over the actual footage to make it a cartoon.
Yeah.
But the he's really good. I mean, he's funny, he's quick-witted, and the animation style it's definitely unique. It's like it drags a lot. It feels like it's almost lagging, like you're maybe playing an old school video game. It's Roy is the one who basically planted this on my algorithm, so thank you, Roy. But
it's basically an AI doing all the work for him. That's what's doing the rotoscoping, which is kind of cool, in my opinion.
Fascinated by the prevalence of AI or the increase of AI over the past couple of years. It's also terrifying because I'm fully aware of the singularity, and I know that the robots eventually will overtake all of us. And I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. But that being said, it's fascinating to kind of log on to some of these. If you ever have logged on to like Crayon, which is Cray AI on, or any of the Dolly AI animators, basically
the image generators.
The image generators. You type whatever you can think of, any combination of words you can think of into the search bar, and this AI will animate that thing to the best of its ability.
Mm-hmm.
It's really bad at animating faces, which is why I don't do it anymore, because it's kind of nightmare fuel. Like as I'm I was just randomly typing in The Rock wrestling a rock in Iraq, and the problem is it came up with some pretty cool images, but the problem is they don't know how to do faces yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like AI is really bad at creating accurate looking faces, so everything's fine until you look at their face, and at that point it plants a seed in your head that you're gonna have a nightmare tonight. Welcome to that. So yeah, I had to stop using it. But I'm fascinated by AI animation. So this channel, Joel Haver, definitely scratched an itch, and I kind of fell into a wormhole last night watching Joel Haver episodes.
Yeah, it's just funny skits. He does other stuff besides that. He does live action stuff too.
Sure. But yeah, that was the wormhole I found myself falling into last night, because of course it was. So yeah, just lesson learned. If you work in an office and you have, let's say, an app that you frequent, log out of it before you leave a computer. Otherwise, you're going to be privy to everyone else's whims on said app. 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's pause and get you up to date. Before I do this, I'm going to click it so that it doesn't fail on me. Let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a cold front to our north. Doesn't look like it'll make it down into our area, so we'll stay pretty hot today. A little bit breezy during the afternoon, and our high should be around 90 with lots of sunshine. Overnight it'll be clear. We'll drop into the low 60s, and then about the same for Friday. We're expecting low 90s and sunshine. For the upcoming weekend, 90 to 95 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. The weather was in error mode for a minute, but I finally got it back up. Currently 65 degrees. Humidity is around 73 degrees. Winds out of the north at around 6 miles an hour. The barometer at about 30.20 inches with a dew point of 56 degrees. Looking at mostly sunny skies and basically a late summer day for you. We're pretty much going to carry that through the rest of the weekend as well. Sunny skies, the high of around 92 degrees. Winds out of the northeast 10 to 15 miles an hour, becoming south later in the afternoon. For tonight, mostly clear, dropping down to 63 for the overnight low. Winds out of the south 5 to 15 miles an hour. And for your Friday, sunny skies, 94 for the high. Winds southbound 5 to 15 miles an hour. For your Friday night, mostly clear, a low of around 63 degrees. Winds out of the south 5 to 10 miles an hour. For your Saturday, sunny skies, 93 for the high. Once again, winds calm 5 to 10. Sunny and 91 for your Sunday. And looks like we're finally going to be cracking out of the 90s and into the 80s next week. Because starting Monday, a high of 86 degrees, 88 for the high on Tuesday, and 87 for the high on Wednesday. It looks like finally, fall time is pert near upon us in southeastern New Mexico. So soak it in. I love the fall time here in New Mexico. It's literally my favorite time of year in my favorite place to be in the fall time. It's like the perfect weather conditions in New Mexico in the fall time. Plus you got roasting chilies, long sleeve t-shirts, just a good place to be alive. 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, going to pause, pay a couple of these bills, and after these, going to replay the interview Mike had yesterday with Miss Andrea Moore from the Roswell Chamber on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
What images come to mind when you hear the word supper? Maybe you remember your mom's voice hollering at you down the stairs, "It's time for supper." At our house, we would join our family around the table, say a prayer of thanksgiving, and then dig in. There was always conversation about our day and the planning for the days to come. It was a special time together that we probably took for granted. The Lord's Supper is the same in many ways. It's a time for remembrance and a time of praise. It's a time where the family of God comes together to encourage one another and to be encouraged by each other. Sometimes the remembrance brings us tears of sorrow and regret. However, it should often bring us a joyful time of praise and thanksgiving. Our church comes together every Sunday morning for this supper. Some may think this would cause us to take that supper for granted, but I hope it causes us to always keep the gift of that meal and what it represents deep in our hearts. So come and join our family for supper. We'd love to have you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Hello, I'm Tara Mitcha, State Director for the National Rifle Association, letting you know that the NRA Political Victory Fund endorses State Representative Greg Nybert for re-election in House District 59. Greg has worked relentlessly to support our Second Amendment rights and to oppose legislation that restricts law-abiding gun owners. Progressive politicians in Santa Fe have an agenda that would erode our right to protect our families, our homes, and ourselves. Greg Nibert will vigorously oppose those who want to tread on our right to keep and bear arms and our precious liberty and freedom. He is a true friend of the Second Amendment and of our sporting heritage in New Mexico. Vote Greg Nibert, representative for House District 59.
Sometimes when you hit the road hits back. That's why MTA Mechanics and Tire carries major brands like Bridgestone, Cooper, and Michelin. Not only do you get top brand tires, but you also get a nationwide warranty. So wherever you are, MTA Mechanics and Tire has you covered. Stop by or let MTA come to you with their MTA Mobile Tire Shop, covering Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia. They can come to your home, office, or even the airport, and alignment is included on all sets of 4 tires. MTA Mechanics and Tires, getting you back on the road.
This is Dallas Cowboys football 2022.
So here comes 3rd and 5.
Only heard here.
Inside the 10. Brady in the gun, 3rd down, snap back.
All season.
Looking around, flushed out. Parsons has sacked it. Parsons again.
Monday night, it's your Cowboys and the New York Giants.
Live from MetLife Stadium.
On this Dallas Cowboys radio network station.
Pre-game at 5, kickoff at 6 on Southeastern New Mexico's official Cowboys station, 92.9 The Brand.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And joining us in studio this morning from the Chamber of Commerce, Angie Moore, Executive Director, back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
As always like having you on. How's life at the Chamber this morning?
It's going really well. We're when I was looking over everything, preparing to come on today, we actually have quite a few things happening in the next month or so.
The fall is busy as can be, and you know, just personal lives and everything with sports and all that. But the Chamber's equally as busy with sports and everything else too, just like the community is.
And it's not traditional busy like we have had in the past.
Yeah.
But we are very busy. For example, this Friday, between 10 o'clock and 10:30 is a big ribbon cutting for the Loveless Healthcare Center that is located at 1627 South Union.
Okay.
And they're going to have speakers. It's going to be huge pomp and circumstance.
Good
it's
deal.
going to be a big to-do for their new facility on
Excellent.
Union. So please come out.
Are they still in their 100th anniversary celebration, or is that kind of over now? I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I know, but I remember earlier this year, Loveless, when we were talking about their
It may be
100 years
because
of
we're
Loveless,
doing
yeah.
it. It's a huge deal. Like they have
Yeah.
a script and like all kinds of elected officials are going to be there giving speeches and stuff. And so I'm
Cool.
excited.
Good deal. So come see the new facilities and see all that stuff that's there as they're expanding here in Roswell.
Yes.
That's about 10 o'clock this Friday.
10 o'clock this Friday.
Okay, very good. So come on out. Again, that's on Union.
Yes, on South Union, 1627 South Union. And of course, it'll be on our website.
Yeah.
If it isn't already, I can't remember if it's up there or not.
Should be on the calendar there.
But
if it's not, yeah.
I try to do a pretty good job of keeping everything updated on our calendar. And of course, to the community, if you guys have anything, even if you are not a member of the Chamber, if you have a community event that you want people to be aware of, please contact us and we will get it up on our website.
Very good.
That's
Perfect.
what it's there for.
Absolutely. It's a community-driven place for everyone to come and find out what's happening. So put it up there so we all know. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, as we get into October, we're starting to get all of the information for the different trunk or treats around town.
And probably more coming as we get into October here and everything else too. Yeah.
Loveless is having their trunk or treat on Thursday, October 27th from 4 to 7 at the hospital in their front parking lot.
Okay.
So there's an event. I know the zoo is doing their zoo Halloween.
Yes.
And we, as the Chamber, are partnering with
Night
them.
of the Living Zoo, I believe is what it's called. Yeah.
And we're partnering with them to help bring an organization in so they can be a part of it.
Okay.
Because we're not going to be able to physically be there ourselves the entire time.
Okay.
So we had talked with the zoo and I had asked them, I said, well, how else can we help? Because I know with, just a handful of people in our office, we're not going to be able to be there the entire time.
Yeah.
And so John said, well, why don't you partner with another organization that wouldn't ordinarily be able to go? So we are partnering with Way Off Broadway.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Good deal.
So they'll be able to have their booth out there, and we can go out and just be supportive.
To be entertaining, and we give them meat and potatoes. Of things.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
Very
right.
nice.
And so
while they do their acting stuff.
That's right.
Cool.
So be on the lookout for all that stuff. And of course, if you want to participate in the Trunk or Treat for Loveless on our website, and of course in our weekly email, we have provided the sign up information as well. We've got the Republican Party of Chaves County and the Democrat Party of Chaves County are partnering together to do a voter integrity.
Yes, they were on last Friday, I think, to talk about that.
I'm so excited about all of this. And that is, never mind. That was last weekend. Never mind. See, I've slept and I forget what's going on.
I know we had them on Friday to talk about it, but I wasn't here that day. But that was last weekend,
and that was super cool because both parties came together to prove that our voting machines in Chaves County are not rigged. There's nothing hokey going on. That if you go vote, your vote is being counted. It is being counted accurately.
And all sides agree on that.
Yes.
That's
and
a good
so it was
thing.
a really cool event on that one. Another thing that is going on, it started this last weekend and will go through the end of October. Lauren Clay is a artisan in resident here in Roswell, and her art is being displayed. Let me read this.
What kind of art does she do? Does she do paintings or something else,
I'm
or?
not exactly sure the exact medium that she uses, but Roswell Museum has sent us the information that she is Roswell's artist in resident. Lauren Clay. Phantom Stare is the name of her exhibit. Her grand opening was this last Friday, but her exhibit goes through October 23rd.
So come to the museum.
Go to the museum, check it out.
Yeah.
And museum hours are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day.
Yeah. And, of course, when you say it was the 3rd?
Through the 23rd.
Okay. So
you have all of October.
And if you want to save a little money, wait till that second Saturday in October there, and you can go on the free day.
Correct.
And check it out for free. So
correct.
Just a little, but if you can't wait till then, it's very affordable to go and check it out. So.
It is, and the museum itself is just fantastic. So please go out, support them. We've got the General's Cup this weekend, which is the big fundraiser that NAMI holds.
Yeah.
To help the scholarships for the kids.
So the links will be crowded this weekend with the golfers.
And the chamber, we partner with them. This will be our second year partnering with the General's Cup. We will be sitting on the 10th hole, and we are doing what's called the Tiger. It's called the Tiger Hole.
Okay, it's like a one. If you make the shot one, or
no, actually, if you pay, I believe it's $10 per golfer. You don't have to tee off at the tee box. You get to take your first shot at the 150 mark.
Oh, okay.
So you only have to do 150 yards instead of the full 10.
Gotcha. But you get the full par 4 or whatever that hole
correct.
is. Gotcha.
And so last year, only one person got past us. So my goal is to get 100% participation.
And that person will not get past you again.
Oh, no. And they were teased mercilessly for 2 days. Every time when I saw him, I'm like, that guy over there, don't be that guy. And at lunch both days, he was like, thanks a lot. And I said, well, all it was $10. Like, I'm not asking a lot.
There you go.
I just needed your money.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't do it. His buddies even did it.
There you go.
And they were like, and so for the next
public ridicule is what was needed there.
I was like, don't be that guy. Because there were a couple of guys that were like, well, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
That guy over there, you see that guy right there?
Don't be like that guy.
And of course, my husband was teasing this morning. He goes, I'm not going to do it. And I was like, well, then for you, there will be a dunce cap. And you will be wearing that dunce cap for 2 rounds of golf.
Well, put a chin strap on it just so it stays in place.
I'll staple it or super glue it.
In case it's a little windy on Saturday.
So we're excited to work with the General's Cup and the Institute.
Good
to do
deal.
that. Job Corps is getting going. And one of the things they would like to start is a flag football league.
Okay.
For students 14, they would like to try to do 2 different age brackets, 14 to 17.
Okay.
And then 18 and older.
Okay. So high school and adult.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And I said, when you mean 18 and older, and they were like, no, 18 and older.
Okay.
Obviously, they're trying to kind of keep it around the age group of the students that they have at Job Corps.
Yeah.
But if there's a bunch of adults that want to have their
Sure.
own kind of teams, then Job Corps totally supports it because they're just trying to think of some fun and exciting things to do around town that we don't already have.
Yeah.
And I hadn't heard of a flag football league.
No, not for adults.
For adults. And so if anybody's interested, you can either contact us at the chamber or you can contact Job Corps. If you call us at the chamber, we'll just put you in touch with the appropriate people.
Gotcha. Very good.
So-
but yeah, and then of course, obviously, if you have students that qualify and are interested in Job Corps, please reach out to them. They do now that we're kind of post COVID, they're back full swing doing their thing. So they're I imagine they're playing a little catch up themselves after a couple years of being hamstrung a little bit here.
And they've got a new team out there. I want to say a whole new team because I'm constantly meeting new people that are out there, and every single person at Job Corps that I've met is fantastic.
Excellent.
So let's really get out and help them out.
Plus, it sounds like a good way to get your buddies together for a little fun activity
Yeah, how
and start
fun
a
would it be?
team up. And, now you got, we got league night. We're going to go play our flag football. And then, and then everyone goes to a bar or something afterwards.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just live, live life.
Absolutely.
Have fun with life.
We've got Jazz Fest coming up. I don't have the dates in front of me. I couldn't find my flyer on my phone, but we have it up on the website. And like I said, Jazz Fest is coming up. You're going to see a full page ad in our magazine. It is at the publishers right now
So
at
it
the
should
printer.
be
So
coming to mailboxes in the coming weeks here.
I would say within the next 14 days.
Okay.
If it's going to be longer than that, I would be very surprised.
Gotcha. Okay.
But we have a new editor. Her name is Trace
Yeah.
Jolliffe. She's been with us for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And what she has done with a magazine in 3 weeks is just phenomenal.
Nice.
It is fantastic.
I got
We're
to meet her
excited.
once. Seems like a real nice person.
She's a great fit.
Yeah. Good.
So we're excited to have her and to have the magazine come out. So of course, we're jumping straight into our Christmas issue. So once again, anybody in the community that has, Christmassy things,
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to have your sales or a special pop-up boutique, whatever it may be, please contact us at the chamber because we want to make sure that we are getting you in the magazine because that magazine will drop right before Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody at Thanksgiving can look through the magazine, see what's going on, plan their shopping accordingly.
And every mailbox in Chaves County gets one.
Correct.
So it's a lot of people that get eyeballs on it. So,
Yes.
So please consider it as an option if you want to do some of that, or if you've got something to contribute to it. Please, it's we get quite a big circulation of people that utilize it, read it, look at it.
Just short of 30,000 households.
Yeah, that's
so it's
a nice little chunk of people there. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're getting great feedback every time we crank out another magazine on the articles and the people that we are we're highlighting.
Good.
So we're
Good deal.
excited.
So a couple weeks here should be popping up in your mailboxes here pretty
Yep.
quick. So.
And then, of course, we're in the middle of election season.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that's going to be on the ballot this year is Bond C, because there's always, during presidential and governor elections, we always have all the bonds and stuff. And the important bond that we are asking everybody to vote yes on is Bond C. And that's the bond that's going to help both the Institute and Eastern New Mexico University out there on the campus.
Yeah, Roswell there.
They've got a couple of different projects, especially the college has a couple of different projects that they're trying to get funded.
We actually had Dr. Powell on yesterday talking about those. So if you missed it, you can go back and check out if you want to know exactly what they're going to use it for. He said it all there in that interview.
Yeah,
So
and they're not allowed to say, please vote. They can just say,
we can, but
vote,
they can't.
But I can, so please go vote for Bond C. It's not going to raise your taxes.
It does
Your
not.
taxes stay the same as they are.
It's a general obligation bond that they need the will of the people to approve every year. And you won't see an increase in taxes and things. And for the most part, people have been approving it, so it's a good thing. But we want to make sure that keeps happening. The other one that's on people's radar is kind of in the same thing as Bond B.
Yes.
Which is for the libraries. Which same deal, but for the libraries. So the Roswell Public Library, Eastern Mexico University Library, the high school libraries, they all benefit from
So
that.
please vote for both those bonds. It's very important.
Yeah.
Until I got really active, I didn't understand the importance of bonds because I used to be that person that would just vote for candidates.
Yeah.
And then flip over your ballot, and I voted no on all of those bonds until I started to do my homework and realized these bonds are pretty important.
Absolutely. They're very valuable to communities.
So please, B and C for sure. Go vote. We want to continue to fund our libraries, have books there for our children. Bond C, if I can remember, one of the projects that the college wants to do is the fire suppression.
Yes, I think you're right.
For some of their buildings, because there's a couple of buildings that they have younger students, and so they have to have that fire suppression in order to continue to provide those classes and those services.
Yeah, you're right. And I want to say NMMI is doing a dining hall expansion.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. They're going to pretty much double the size of the dining hall. And as a parent of a graduate of NAMI, that dining hall does need to be expanded because the general would like to be able to have all the students be able to have a meal together. And right now they kind of have to have shifts or they have to be extremely crammed into this little space.
How's your soup? Good.
Oh, yeah. And talking to my son, that is 100% how it was. He was like, you're very much shoulder to shoulder as it is right now if they try to have everybody in there.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, and obviously for folks that don't know that most of the facilities there are historical landmarks on that campus. So anytime they do any kind of upgrades or renovations, it's pricey and kind of tumultuous because there's a lot of process steps that they have to follow that a non-historical building do not have to follow. So that adds expense, time, all kinds of logistics to anything they do out there. So so this money's greatly appreciated. So please vote for the bonds B and C to help these help these campuses.
It goes
out.
for the children.
Absolutely.
Help the children.
Exactly.
And so those, that's just a little bit of the things that are that we're doing right now. There's always new things in my email when I get back to the office. There's always new voicemails on different things that are coming up. And like I said, with us very quickly, I can't believe that we're almost done with September.
I know.
And it's a long month. And I blinked and we have 1 week left.
Do we have any updates on the sponsorship for the college, the bowl game?
So I don't have any more updates on the
I know you're
sponsorship,
still looking
but
for
we are
items.
looking for items in our gift bags.
Okay.
For the students. We just got, there's a wonderful local lady that makes magnets. And so she has made 200 magnets that look like the state of New Mexico.
Nice.
That we're going to put in everybody's bags. And then we're collecting other items as well. So if you are a business that would like to donate an item for these players that will be in town in December.
We're kind of hoping something kind of New Mexico centric, but it doesn't have to be necessarily.
But it doesn't have to be. It can be anything that you think that these college kids would really enjoy. And of course, I have no doubt that we're going to have some pens and some pads of paper, which the kids they'll use it.
Yeah.
But let's try to make it very New Mexico, very Chaves County, South, East New Mexico. Because keep in mind that these kids have probably never been to our state, much less to our city.
Mm-hmm.
So let's really show them how cool we are.
Well, and plus they're college kids, right?
Yes.
So they all live in dorms or something, like that. You know what I mean? So we all know what dorm life is like. What's kind of things that dorm people need? Snacks, jerky, things like that. These are probably things that would be very popular for college-age kids.
Absolutely.
To take back to their dorms and all that kind of stuff they'll actually utilize. So I'm thinking these jerky groups out here, maybe donate some jerky. Maybe, what do college kids like? What are that kind of stuff
We've got
into?
A pecan orchard and the pistachio orchard. We have a pistachio orchard in
snacks
town.
And things would be
Both
huge
of them
hits.
are donating pecans and pistachios
Good.
to put in there. So we are.
Those would be huge winners. I know.
I know they will.
As a teenage boy, which I'm thinking most of these are going to be football players.
I would
with their
imagine.
families and things. So they probably eat a ton of food.
Absolutely.
Everything else. So jerky, cookies, snack, all that stuff is probably very. I don't even know if it'd make it out of New Mexico, to be honest, but it might.
No, absolutely. And so that's the stuff. And of course, it's 200 bags that I have to stuff. But I understand that not everybody has quantities of 200.
Sure.
But if you have quantities of 50 or 100, that helps. And then everybody's bag is just slightly different.
Yeah.
And then come the day of stuffing, we'll just put everything out and we'll assembly line it and make sure
load
that
up the
everybody's
bags.
got some stuff. And we're asking for all items to be in the office by the first part of November, because then that gives us time to scramble if we need more items, but also time to start filling
gaps,
the bags. So that way, when the teams come into town and go to their hotel room, our plan is to have those bags in their room for everybody when they get there.
Excellent.
And the second thing we're working on is we have been asked to do 20 gift baskets for the coaches' wives.
Okay. So that's going to be a little bit more feminine, pampery type
Correct.
stuff. Yeah.
And so we are actually reaching out to, 20 different, we're asking for 20 different companies or individuals or combination thereof, make a basket.
Okay.
If you would create a basket, you can make it however you want and bring it to the chamber. Once again, we are hoping to have all of these baskets in the chamber by around the 1st of November.
Okay.
Definitely no later than Thanksgiving. And the baskets, I understand, we're giving a little bit more time, obviously.
Well, those are probably themed gifts. So if a
Correct.
business is like, well, what represents us in New Mexico? And let's put the products in there that best represent New Mexico and what we do as a company.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because once again, we want those baskets to be in the rooms when they check in. And because the wives, tend to get overlooked.
Sure.
When they have to go travel with their husbands.
You know what might be handy in there is some of the travel, like lotions and things
exactly.
that people probably would use on the road, but also, take back with them, something like that.
Wines, soaps.
Yeah. Terry cloth robes.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And let it be, that's why we were
Yeah.
because I was kind of thinking at first that I would do all 12 baskets.
Mm-hmm.
And when I realized the cost for me to do 20 different baskets, I was like, you know what? Why don't we reach out to our community and ask our community? And then, of course, you guys can put your badging on it and say, this basket was donated by Sam and Sally Smith.
If you're a company that has an online presence, you'd be a fool not to do something like this.
Yes.
If you sell decor or soaps and things, and you have an online presence, why would you not do this? Because now you're building your out of community market there.
Correct.
When people, that lotion was to die for, but I'm out. Oh, let me get on their website. I can order more. And
absolutely.
And so if you're a local business that does have an online presence, that stuff. I mean, this is pretty cheap advertising for you.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
And these women are going to go back home. Once again, remember, these are people that have never been to New Mexico. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say have probably never been to Roswell either.
Sure.
Unless Nimi is one of the teams. And then how cool would that be too?
That would be nice too.
That ends up being one of our teams. But so like I said, we're looking for 20 individuals or companies or combination thereof. We need 20 gift baskets for the wives. And then we are looking for items to put in the bags for the players.
Gotcha.
And those quantities, I mean, if you've got 200 things that you want to stick in a box and bring to us, that's awesome. But if you only have, 50 or 100 of something, we're not going to say no. We just need some really cool items to stick in these bags for the players. And of course, we don't have to have, 1,000 different things to put in one bag.
Sure.
Each player probably only needs, I'd say, probably 15 things in the bag. Because if you start getting much more than that, I'm thinking it's going to look over stuff.
Well, if they get on a
too
plane,
much.
it might be a carry-on problem, depending on where they're coming
exactly.
from, too.
So, once again, reach out to us if you'd like to help us, or just come drop it off at the chamber.
Sure.
I would love for that to be a happy little surprise.
And think out of the box. We're just throwing ideas out there, but if you've got something you think would even be cooler, bring it.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's decor, maybe it's just mementos, keepsakes, things.
Exactly.
Coin purses, whatever. Just stuff
any kind of cool thing. Because also remember, they're going to go home and they'll probably give something to their mom, their girlfriend, their cousin, their, grandma, grandpa, that kind of stuff. So any of that kind of stuff is greatly appreciated. For example, I know as the chamber, we're going to donate some lapel pins.
Okay.
We have some special lapel pins that we have created that have aliens and say Roswell on them, because that's always a big hit with anybody.
Sure, collectibles.
And so we're going to throw that in there. So yeah, anything that you guys can think of, stickers. I know the big thing for my 18-year-old son that is in college, and I'm so glad that he can't hear me talk because he'd be rolling his eyes. Those rubber bracelets that say, that they started off being for like
the
autism.
Livestrong ones,
yes.
yeah. Now there's
but
a thousand.
My
different
son
ones,
has been collecting those since he was 8 years old.
Okay.
And to this day, he still has certain ones that he wears all the time.
Okay.
So those kinds of things are a huge hit, no matter your age.
Gotcha. Excellent. So,
but yeah,
percolate
please
here.
us.
You got about a month to get your stuff together here and get it to the chamber. But please put it on your radar. Start thinking and putting that stuff together. And if you have any questions about what would be good or not good, don't hesitate to call the chamber and ask. They'll tell you.
If you want to be helpful, 575-623-5695.
Yeah.
Or come visit us, 131 West 2nd. If you see my big white SUV out front, I'm there.
Yeah.
The door is probably going to be locked, but we have a doorbell.
Ring the doorbell. Yeah.
Please ring the doorbell. We'll come and open the door for you and let you in.
Yeah, that's just for security to make.
Yes.
Especially when she's by herself. If there's a couple people in the office, and it's probably not an issue. But
correct.
Usually when one person's alone there, they
when Kyle comes in, it's a free for all. We say we would no. No, we do.
Got it.
we do keep the door locked for safety reasons, because there's a lot of us girls, and we're there by ourselves a lot of times.
Sure.
Early in the morning and later in the evening, so it's just become a safety issue.
Sure, but ring the bell.
Ring the
They'll let
bell.
you
We're
in
there.
and-
Call us.
Yeah.
Email us. We're available.
And-
Reach out to us on the website.
Yeah, check out the website to give the web address.
RoswellNM.org.
Yep, no dashes or
Nancy,
nothing.
Mary, no dashes, nothing. You go straight to our website, and we try to keep it updated as quickly as possible. But of course, there's only 3 of us in the office.
Sure.
So, there may be a day lag time or two.
And then, as always, if you are a business and you're listening to this radio and you're thinking maybe my business can benefit by becoming a chamber member,
It absolutely could.
please reach out. And just because your business is not in Roswell or even in Chaves County does not mean that being a member of the chamber is not a right fit for you. If you do business in Chaves County,
you should be a member
then you
of the
should be
chamber.
a member of the
And
chamber.
look at our benefits. We're constantly reevaluating and tweaking the benefits that we offer to our members. So look at our benefits when you want to become a member. If there's something there that you want to see be offered more, let us know. But there also, if there's something that you think we should or could be doing for you, let us know that too.
Absolutely.
Because we're always open to suggestions on how we can best serve our community.
Absolutely.
And our members. And so, like I was just talking to somebody the other day that said one of the things they'd like to have access to more is our boardroom. Well, at their level of membership, they're only supposed to get it so many times a year. And so I had said, well, let's look over all of our benefits. How can we rearrange this package?
Sure.
Which benefits
Customize it
can
for
we
you a little
move
bit. Yeah.
and remove to be able to give you that value? So call us, let us know. We've got all kinds of things that we can do. And I'm
Absolutely.
sure there's things that I'm not even thinking about that we can offer.
The chamber's all about making those connections and allowing that growth for everyone.
Correct.
And so if it's towards that goal, the chamber will do whatever it takes to make sure that within legalities, of course, but of doing that, not gonna kill nobody for you, but
no, absolutely not.
But as far as hey, do we need to change a package to make it suit your needs? No problem, we can do that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just call us. Kyle is our membership director over there. He would love to sit down and talk to you. Of course, anybody that answers the phone at the chamber, any one of us can help you. So it doesn't have to be just Kyle.
Yeah.
But he is our membership.
That's kind of his wheelhouse.
And he loves it. You come in, you'll see him. He's a fantastic guy. He's a great asset.
Yeah.
And of course, anything magazine related, we've got Trace Jolliffe.
Yeah.
But once again, everybody at the chamber, we can all help out in any way.
Wherever, whatever person you talk to, they can put you in touch with whoever you need to get to.
And I'm kind of just the jack of all trades.
There you go.
Master of none.
Starting on the fire. That's me. That's my life, is jack of all trades, master of none. But
that's right.
And they've got you covered. So please come check out the website. Come on by the office. Come out this Friday to Loveless's big grand opening
10
event.
o'clock to 10:30. South Union, 1627 South Union, Loveless's new healthcare center. It's going to be a great time.
I bet the food's good too.
Oh, I bet it is.
Loveless always has good food. Everyone that anybody listens to that show, I every time I have Loveless on, I'm like, bring me a burrito.
Yeah,
really
their
good.
cafeteria, their food is really good.
So I'm kind of like, that's the only hospital I've ever been to where I consider going there just to eat lunch. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Most people are like, I don't want to go to a hospital. I'm like, well, their food's good.
I
Let's go
know
have lunch there.
pre-COVID people would.
Yeah, they go and eat
and
there.
I don't know if they've opened that part up quite yet because it's a hospital.
But my guess is they'll probably have some food at the grand opening that's done by the Loveless chefs. And I don't care what they make, it's always good. So
I've
just
never had
come for the
anything.
food and learn about Loveless.
Absolutely. So please come join us. And as always, contact us at the chamber, 575-623-5695. If for some reason we don't answer the phone, please leave a message. We do call people back. We really do.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a time where there were a lot of us out, and so there was a lag time, but we have fixed that issue. Call us, email us, come by. We're always happy to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And bring us your questions, queries, and ideas,
right.
and we'll see how we can put it into fruition. So,
absolutely.
Good deal. Well, as always, appreciate the visit. We'll go let you get back, and I'm sure there's probably one or two fires that need to be put out when you get back there.
There's always something. There's no sleep for the wicked.
That's right. So, we'll see you here in a couple of weeks.
Fantastic.
And thank you, as always.
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
it.
you.
All right, it is 9:52. Time for news.
You up with the score from Tuesday in girls soccer. Goddard blew out Chaparral 10-0. Okay, so they're better. All right, but how about Lexi Pinon from Goddard, a junior, had 5 goals, and Mariana Perez had 3 goals. Ordinarily, that's a huge day. She's a senior for the Rockets. NMMI Broncos update in football. The number 1 Broncos in junior college football defeated Kilgore College last week, 31-24. Kilgore was ranked number 5. NMMI's going to play Blinn College this Saturday night, 6 o'clock at the Wool Bowl. NMMI volleyball, number 9 in the country, broke a 3-match losing streak by beating Odessa College 3-0 last Saturday. They had Amarillo College on the schedule for last night, but no score received. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
Welcome to Constitution Education Minute. The Fourth Amendment to our Constitution reads, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." An important point to remember is we are not free from all searches and seizures, only unlawful ones. There are 5 elements that are required for each lawful search: a proper warrant based upon probable cause, supported by an oath before common law court describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. There are no other exceptions to your right to property in the Fourth Amendment. All searches and seizures that don't have all 5 elements present are in violation of your constitutionally recognized right to be secure in your persons and property. Know your rights. Protect and defend them for yourselves and your posterity. Constitution Education Minute, sponsored by Republican Party of Eddy County.
This is a nasty little termite. It loves nothing better than to eat your house, your subfloors, your walls, around your windows, and then they swarm around taunting you.
We're eating your house. We're eating your house.
You'd like to kill them, wouldn't you? But you don't want trenches dug around your home, and you don't want holes in your foundation. That's where Dow AgroSciences and the Centricon Termite Colony Elimination System come to the rescue. The same system that protects the White House can help protect your house. An authorized operator strategically places Centricon stations around your house and then carefully monitors them for termites. If they're found, a professional inserts bait tube devices. The termites take the bait and they die.
I feel like I'm dying.
Kind of like that, only a lot more effective. In fact, Centricon is proven to eliminate the termite colony. Termites are gone with Centricon. No more colony, no more problem. Visit Centricon.com.
Call Bob Reed Pest Control today for all of Southeast New Mexico. 575-623-5344.
Are you tired of your tired old furniture? Well, why are you keeping it? Glenn's Furniture has filled their store with a special purchase of beautiful, high-quality furniture at factory prices. Stylish reclining sofas and love seats, smart and practical dinettes and dining tables, sumptuous bedroom furniture, and Serta mattress sets, all specially priced and ready for immediate free delivery. Get the lowest prices of the year. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, saving you money on quality furniture since 1953.
Come on down. The Price is Right sales event is on at Roswell Nissan with a showcase showdown of amazing savings, like a 2020 Nissan Sentra for just $289 a month, 2020 Nissan Versa for just $249 a month, or a 2014 Toyota Avalon for just $219 a month. Plus 0 down and no payments for 90 days available. If you got a job, a bank account, and a down payment or trade, Roswell Nissan can make it happen. The Price is Right sales event all month long at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd. Don't forget to have your pets spayed and neutered.
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannick device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. Closing in on 8 o'clock. Stay tuned. Next hour, we'll be sitting down chit-chatting with the folks from Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge, kind of getting a postmortem on what went down at Dragonfly Festival 2022 and what to expect with the fall time ahead. Stay tuned. That's next hour on A Morning Without Mike Winters. Stick around.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. As deadly drugs, including fentanyl, continue flowing into the U.S. across the southern border, one border state governor trying something new for combating the problem.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order designating Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations in Texas. Governor Abbott says cartels are behind the fentanyl deaths of Texans and the deaths of more Americans in the past year than any global terrorist attack in the past 100 years. Tasha Stevens reporting.
A federal appeals court has lifted a judge's hold that prevented the Justice Department from accessing documents that were seized by the FBI during its raid on former President Trump's Florida estate. Some retailers will not wait to roll out their holiday deals.
Walmart and Target plan to begin offering deals and price matching offers earlier this year to keep up with Americans pressed by soaring inflation. They are also looking for ways to ease the potential sting of holiday shopping. With inflation that's hovering near 4-decade highs, experts believe families may get an earlier start on shopping with hopes of avoiding even higher prices later. Alex Partners, the global consulting firm, forecasts that holiday sales will be up anywhere from 4 to 7%, far below last year's growth of 16%. I'm Shelley Adler.
Addressing the UN, Ukraine's president has made his case against Russia's invasion of his country and is demanding punishment from world leaders. Wall Street lower following the Fed's decision to hike interest rates again. The 0.75 point increase will further raise the cost of borrowing. Right now on Wall Street, the Dow is down 135 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index off 122 and the S&P 28 points lower. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
The U.S. is not the only country where the cost of borrowing is heading higher.
Switzerland's central bank has hiked up interest rates in an effort to clamp down on inflation. The Swiss National Bank has said that there may be further increases in the future. It says future hikes could be made to ensure price stability over the medium term. The rate was raised by 0.75 of a percentage point. Switzerland's interest rate was originally minus 0.25% and has been moved to 0.5%. I'm Karen Chamas.
A powerful earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 6.8 struck Mexico early today, causing buildings to sway, leaving at least one person dead in the nation's capital. The quake struck shortly after 1 a.m., just 3 days after a 7.6 magnitude quake shook western and central Mexico, killing 2 people. The earthquake rattled an already jittery country. News and analysis at townhall.com. Campaign that could bring legalized sports betting to California has become the most expensive ballot initiative fight in U.S. history.
2 rival proposals on the November ballot are pitting wealthy Native American tribes against FanDuel, DraftKings, and other online gambling companies. Together, both sides have raised over $400 million. A torrent of advertising on TV, much of it from the gambling companies. They're making promises about using revenues to fix homelessness, which Governor Gavin Newsom and other critics say is a false promise. John Scott reporting.
A Malaysian defense contractor who arranged one of the largest bribery scandals in U.S. military history has been arrested in Venezuela, where he fled before he could be sentenced. The international manhunt for Leonard Glenn Francis ended with his arrest by Venezuelan authorities at the Caracas airport as he was about to board a plane for another country. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce
of a morning without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the penultimate day of your work and or school week. That's right, kids. Your word of the day is penultimate.
Why?
I don't know. It was on my word of the day toilet paper.
Oh.
Tomorrow's is bequeath.
That's cheating.
I cheated. I need a little more TP. What can I say? Sometimes you need more than one square.
Wait, is it per square?
Yeah.
So you get like 6 of them?
You get 365 squares.
I know, but per visit to the bathroom, you get 6.
You get 1 square every day. You only get 1.
6 words of the day per
I
usage.
tend to get 2.
You got to read all of them and then fold them and then use it.
I tend to get 2 words of the day. I'm not as regular as should be. But
okay, penultimate.
Actually, I've used that word a day toilet paper joke for like 6 years. That would be horrifying to have only 1 square per day of toilet paper. It's a real dystopian future I've painted for myself with word a day toilet paper. That's right up there with the Sean Coe torture toilet, which has actually gotten a little traction earlier this week. I showed the clip to young Roybert, and from what I've gathered, he used it in a school assignment. What was that about?
Oh yeah. We were just trying to think of like a product and a company and a pitch, and I just remember you showing me that, so I was like, hey, give me a quick slogan, because I wanted to come up with my own slogan,
Sure.
but I couldn't.
For those who don't know, over on my other station, our sister station, 92.9 The Brand, I run a show called the Sean Smalls Show. And on that show, it's a little looser. It's more music-driven. I have a line of products called Sean Coe. It's basically like Ron Coe, but Sean Coe. Our slogan is ideas that work, products that don't. And recently, it was like a couple of years ago, there was a story that came out that basically a company was installing toilets in their company bathrooms with a 15-degree angle on the bowl to make it more uncomfortable for people to sit on so that they get their business done faster, because they found that employees were using the bathrooms to take extra long breaks to get on their phones and mess around. And so this company decided to nip that in the bud with a 15-degree slant on their toilet bowls to make it just a little more painful. So I decided that wasn't big enough. I decided we needed a 45-degree angle on our toilets, and that's what birthed the idea of the Sean Coe torture toilet, which will definitely get those pesky porcelain pirates off the pot a lot faster. If a 45-degree angle doesn't do it, Adele definitely will. The sounds of Adele will come in after about 5 minutes, and that'll clear anybody out of a bathroom. Hello. But yeah, so thanks for rebirthing the Sean Coe torture toilet into the zeitgeist.
No problem.
It's been a minute. I actually need to get to work on more Sean Coe products. It's been a while since I
I googled it, and it's real.
Oh yeah, there's an actual. This was the reason I created the bit was because of the story. Like a company made these toilets with a 15-degree angle, and I was like, well, 15's not big enough. 45. Let's go 45-degree angle. That feels right. Yeah. We're not quite to 90-degree angle. That would be physically impossible. I think at that point that's a urinal. You just have to fling stuff against a wall and see what flushes. Yeah. But I digress. Thank you for rebirthing the Sean Coe torture toilet into the zeitgeist.
What was the other one?
It was I've done a few of them, but the one that I played for you was pork of the ocean. That's what it was. So basically, the idea is if you're health conscious, if you're trying to, curb the amount of smoked meats, bacon, pork chops that you consume, you want to be health conscious, but you still want to enjoy your bacon. Well, that's why Sean Coe's pork of the ocean comes into play. It's basically all of our pigs were raised and killed 3 miles off the coast of
ethically.
3 miles off the coast. So basically these pigs were raised at sea. So that makes them seafood. What kind of seafood? We'll never tell. Wink. But yeah. So that was it's just a fun thing we do over on 92.9 The Brand, so I can get a little side brand plug in. I will definitely do that when I can. By the way, Mixmaster Mike back inside your radios tomorrow morning. I had to go down to El Paso to get a follow-up with lovely Miss Kim. Hopefully she'll be back at work full-time next week. That's what it's looking like. We just got to get kind of a final follow-up to make sure everything's good to go before she returns to the workplace. So that's where he is today. He'll be back inside your radios tomorrow morning. Coming up here in just a few minutes, around 8:15 or so, we'll be sitting down and chatting with the folks from Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge, getting a kind of a post-op on what happened at Dragonfly Fest 2022, and a look ahead to the fall time season, to all the festivities happening at Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge in the fall time season ahead. More on that coming up here in just a few minutes. Plus, of course, your hourly features, which include your Town Hall Business Report, Wall Street Business Update, and, of course, anything else that comes our way on this Thursday morning. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. Go ahead.
Have you ever had one of these?
It's a Coca-Cola with coffee?
Yeah.
I've had, okay, so I didn't have that, but years ago they had a product called Coca-Cola Black, which I tried and I did not like. I was not a fan.
I never heard of that.
It was basically just Coca-Cola with coffee, and it was not.
Oh, okay.
It was aight. It just wasn't something I would go back to.
What blows my mind is this is kind of sweet. But
it's Coca-Cola and coffee. Of course, it's going to be a little sweet.
No, yeah. But it only has 18 grams of carbs.
Okay.
18.
Well, look in the ingredients. There's bound to be
high
additional
fructose corn syrup.
Sure.
Sucralose.
That's what it is right there. Sucralose is incredibly sweet. Sucralose is a no calorie sweetener.
It's keto friendly.
Yeah, it's keto friendly, but it's also like highly sweet. It's like 6 times sweeter than sugar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you can use less of it. When I was keto, I learned
Sean the Keto Master.
That's right. Don't get me started on keto. When I was keto, I learned about something called the glycemic index, and basically it's the amount that anything that you take into your body impacts your triggers an insulin response or a blood sugar spike. And based on the glycemic index, sucralose is a no impact sweetener. In other words, it doesn't impact your blood sugar. But it's also got some other stuff that's not great about it. I'm not a huge fan of sucralose. I was a bigger fan of like erythritol and stevia. I got real into those two when I was keto, because those are non-impacting on your blood sugar, but also don't leave a severe aftertaste. The problem with sucralose is it leaves an aftertaste.
People are going to deal with this stuff eventually.
Oh, I'm sure, probably, but they're
going to deal it on the side of the streets, and once you get your erythritol.
Hey, I got you a sucralose. Hey, psst, it's some erythritol.
No, but have you had one of these?
No, I've not. I mean, like I said, I haven't had that iteration of it.
It tastes like Coca-Cola with coffee.
So it does the job.
It's vanilla flavored also, so the vanilla helps.
I do not like artificial vanilla flavoring. I never have. It's not. Do you know what artificial vanilla flavoring actually is?
I'm
gonna ruin.
I think you said it one time.
I did. I most certainly did.
I'll let you say it.
It's called castorum. Castorum is it's a liquid that is emitted out of the anal glands of a beaver.
There it is.
Yeah. I don't know who figured this out the first time. I would have loved to have been there the first time. It was like you just like see some dude like staring at a beaver, like, wonder what that tastes like.
he just looks back at you.
He was. I mean, I'm sure he had ill intentions. If you're out in the wilderness and you're at that end of a beaver, one's got to imagine you're not. You have bad intentions, right? I mean, you got to imagine. So it's got to just be a byproduct of some pervert. Like he was like scratching an itch, trying to figure out what it would feel like, and he got artificial vanilla flavoring. He's like, you know what? There might be something to this. I'm gonna come back and.
You think a platypus would work just fine?
I've never done that research. One's got to imagine that the guy who discovered castorum the first time probably tried several different animals before he found beaver. I mean, it boggles my mind how one comes across that organically. Like, we know that now, but there has to be the first person to discover that. It's kind of like the joke of the first person that ever discovered that cow milk was okay to drink. It's like, I think there's just some dude like out in the field just sucking on a cow.
Yeah, it's for science.
Yeah, totally for science, clearly. But yeah, so there you go. I'm not a huge fan of vanilla flavoring, but hey, if Coca-Cola with coffee tastes like Coca-Cola with coffee, well, then they have done the job that was at hand. Is it? You didn't say whether it was good. You just said it tasted like Coca-Cola and coffee.
Oh, it's sweet.
He still won't commit to good. He still will not commit to good.
It's good.
Oh, I love it.
It's good. Well, okay. I just don't want people to say like, well, you said it was good, and then now it doesn't taste, it tastes too much like this or what. I don't know. To me, it tastes good.
You're worried that your personal endorsement will have such an impact on the community. You're not a spokesman, dude. They're not paying you. Feel free to say it sucks if it sucks.
No, it doesn't suck.
I have had beverages where I'm like, I instantly regret this purchase.
I just don't want everyone to come buying it and then unanimously hate it and then it just go away.
I love that Roy thinks he has that kind of influence. That's awesome. I will say I tried on that topic, and we got to go because we have guests, but I will say that I tried the Voodoo, the Mountain Dew Voodoo. I am 100% convinced I know what they do. Because the Voodoo flavor always comes right after they do that run of the Baja Blast, all the different Baja Blasts that they do. Well, they got to get rid of a bunch of extra Baja Blast syrup, right? They need something to do with it, so they release the Voodoo flavor just in time for Halloween with a mystery flavor that literally, I've tried it several times, it tastes like nothing. It tastes like all of the Baja Blast flavors mixed together. And it's like gray. It's
Sweet Lightning?
It's an eerie gray color. I don't like it. But so that's what it is. It's basically a company decided we have way too much of this Baja Blast syrup after the summertime run. We're going to get rid of it, through Voodoo.
Does it remind you of the man?
The man?
The man with the power?
The power of voodoo?
The hoodoo?
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of the man.
Yeah.
Except for you messed that quote up. It's not man. But anyways, 17 minutes after 8 o'clock. Going to pause and get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a cold front to our north. Doesn't look like it'll make it down into our area, so we'll stay pretty hot today. A little bit breezy during the afternoon, and our high should be around 90 with lots of sunshine. Overnight it'll be clear. We'll drop into the low 60s, and then about the same for Friday. We're expecting low 90s and sunshine. For the upcoming weekend, 90 to 95 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Let me get my weather updated here. Currently, it is 67 degrees around Roswell Way. Humidity at about 68%. Winds out of the north at about 14 miles an hour. Notice that the weed trees out here are whipping pretty vigorously. So, yeah, the wind already up to about 15 miles an hour. Barometer at about 30.22 inches with a dew point of 56 degrees. Looking at 92 degrees, sunny skies. Winds out of the northwest, 5 to 15 miles an hour today. Increasing to 15 to 20 later in the afternoon. For tonight, mostly clear, dropping down to 63 for the overnight low. And we've pretty much slipped into a holding pattern for weather, at least for the rest of this week into the weekend. Mid-90s and sunshine. Sunny and 94 for Friday. Sunny and 93 on your Saturday. And sunny and 91 on Sunday. And that is when the change happens. Because on Monday, mostly sunny, 86 degrees. On Tuesday, mostly sunny, 88 degrees. And on Wednesday, mostly sunny, 87 degrees. It's fall time in southeastern New Mexico. For like 2 good solid weeks, we're going to have perfect weather. Soak it in. It always goes down smooth. 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. Going to pause, pay a couple of these bills. And after these, going to sit down and chat with the folks from Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge on the other side of a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price, and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
The VA reports 149,756 military veterans living here in New Mexico. What doesn't get reported much are steps to improve their quality of life and honor their service. Did you know that major improvements are coming to our only long-term skilled nursing home for New Mexico veterans? Back in July, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced $60 million for upgrades and new home-like residences at the state's Veterans Home in Tier C. And she cut New Mexico's income tax on military retirement for the next 5 years. She's invested millions of dollars towards veteran cemeteries, a new Vietnam memorial wall, and towards the construction of a new Navajo Code Talkers Museum and Veterans Center in New Mexico. And she approved major upgrades to the Baton Memorial Park near Silver City this year too. As the daughter of a military veteran, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is a champion of New Mexico vets they can count on. Let's keep her.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
What images come to mind when you hear the word supper? Maybe you remember your mom's voice hollering at you down the stairs, "It's time for supper." At our house, we would join our family around the table, say a prayer of thanksgiving, and then dig in. There was always conversation about our day and the planning for the days to come. It was a special time together that we probably took for granted. The Lord's Supper is the same in many ways. It's a time for remembrance and a time of praise. It's a time where the family of God comes together to encourage one another and to be encouraged by each other. Sometimes the remembrance brings us tears of sorrow and regret. However, it should often bring us a joyful time of praise and thanksgiving. Our church comes together every Sunday morning for this supper. Some may think this would cause us to take that supper for granted, but I hope it causes us to always keep the gift of that meal and what it represents deep in our hearts. So come and join our family for supper. We'd love to have you.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning, 23 minutes after 8 o'clock. Joining us in studio this morning is Mr. Don Weld and Mr. Carl Jacobson from Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge. How are you guys doing this morning?
Great. Doing good. Thanks for having us, Sean.
Good to hear. Good to hear. And welcome to Morning Without Mike Winters. So, obviously, hot on the heels of Dragonfly Fest 2022. How were things?
We did good.
Yeah?
It was a real good one. Carl just told me guessed about 1,100.
1,100 people
on one day.
That's not dragonflies. That's people.
Yeah.
so many more thousands of dragonflies, but 1,100 people through the gates, and that was just on opening day, on that one day.
One day.
Yeah,
Saturday.
on a Saturday.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was a great turnout.
Friday night we maybe had because we can only put so many in there. Maybe about 50, 60 people that came for the Friday night presentation.
Right.
And then maybe another 20 or 30 people who took the overflow tours on Sunday morning.
Oh, awesome.
So
very cool. So yeah, if you couldn't fit it in on Saturday, we were able to get you in on Sunday.
Yep.
You know, it was funny. I was toying with the idea of taking my kids out to Bitter Lake to check out the dragonflies. As I was thinking about doing that, there was a dragonfly that whipped by my daughter's head. And of course, dragonflies, when they fly, I don't know if it's just a defense mechanism or if it's what they do all the time. They click.
Yeah.
They click loudly. My daughter's on the spectrum. She didn't take too kindly to the clicking. It was a good solid half hour of talking her down and explaining to her the dragonflies can't hurt you. They're just pretty and they're loud. At that moment, I was like, we're not going to Bitter Lakes today. So I was not amongst the 1,100. But it is great to hear that it was a good turnout.
Well, that's too bad because if you'd gone and taken a tour, the tour guide would have actually captured some dragonflies and let you look at them up close.
Really?
And actually hold them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's maybe not her. I mean, that's the thing is.
Well, she would have gotten a whole.
It would have been one of those things where it's like, well, she needs a special tour, maybe all of her own. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do a one-on-one thing. Maybe I can get with you after the show. But I would love that experience. That is amazing to get up close and personal with nature like that. That's absolutely phenomenal.
We had butterflies the same way. We released about 200.
Yeah,
200 butterflies.
Yeah, we released a lot of monarch butterflies,
and the kids got to release them. So we'd take a butterfly and put it on the kid's hand and watch it float away.
That is so cool. And they're just reopening the butterfly exhibit over here at the zoo. So it's kind of interesting that kids are the knowledge and the interest in butterflies has kind of blossomed here in Roswell.
It has.
It's nice to see. So obviously huge success with Dragonfly Fest, and some things maybe are you guys already started the planning for next year's festival?
Of course.
Yeah.
The day after.
Yeah, it's a year-round process.
Absolutely. So bigger and better next year though, because this was obviously a huge success and kind of a return to form, a return to normalcy, which I think we all needed.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the first Dragonfly Festival in 3 years because of COVID.
Like that.
But our numbers were pretty similar to before COVID, so that was really good to see that.
Awesome. That's good to know that people are making their way back out. And by the way, you brought in a couple of really cool visual aids. let's start with this one. This is really cool. So you said this was a design from a student.
Yes. You see on the bottom, you'll see her name on there.
Yeah. So this is it was designed by Kimber Lucas.
Yes.
Was the artist, and she is a 5th grader.
Yes.
Awesome. And this is a beautiful design. I mean, the lines are so clean. I'm looking at one of these dragonflies with almost like a stained glass design in the wings, and this other one with just clear lines and triangles.
We do that every year.
That's phenomenal. That a 5th grader has an eye like that and is able to design like that. That is beautiful.
So all the kids out there, remember that next spring we'll be coming around with our requests for drawings.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spring, you can make your drawing, submit it, and then we will have a big judging of it and select the winner for next year.
There you go. Give it your all, kids. And you got some time to kind of
think about it.
Yeah, think about your design. Go over it a few times. I'm assuming this probably wasn't something that Kimber just threw down freehand. She probably put some time and effort into it.
I'm sure.
That's absolutely gorgeous. And he also brought some pretty cool pins. And what I love about these is I'm a fan of pins to begin with, but these are wooden. Check these out. I'm going to hold this up to the camera here. Yeah, these are wooden with the dragonfly design. And you said he laser etches these.
Yes.
You're the artist.
Yeah.
That is very, very cool. So awesome.
And they are available at the nature store.
Very cool. So you can pick up these stickers, these pins, and lots of other cool stuff there at the nature store there at Bitter Lake. So we're gearing up for fall time. Obviously, temperatures are starting to cool down a little bit. This is like the prime season for Bitter Lake National Wildlife Refuge. So what do you guys got planned for the coming months?
Yeah, we have a lot going on. We're gearing up for to start doing sandhill crane surveys, and so the sandhill cranes they migrate every fall, and so any day now we're expecting them to migrate onto the refuge, and we'll start doing surveys.
Awesome.
We tend to have, I think, between 15 and 30,000 sandhill cranes come every year, and so I'm really excited to see that. This is my first year as the wildlife biologist, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing that. And right now we have the refuge is really beautiful with all the sunflowers are in bloom right now. And so if anyone hasn't had a chance to see that, I recommend going out there right now and seeing the sunflowers. It's really colorful. There's a lot of the refuge is really green and yellow from all the rain we've been getting.
I have a few friends who are really into photography, and one of their favorite places in the world to shoot. And they've been all over the place. They've been to like different parts of the United States, different parts of the world to shoot. And one of their favorite places repeatedly to shoot is Bitter Lake, just because of the changing of the ecosystem. It's constantly some difference. Whether it's the sunflowers or whether it's the spring flowers early in the year, there's a constant difference in the pattern and the look of Bitter Lakes. It's a fantastic place to go and get some early morning shots.
Yeah, it is. I've only been there 2.5 months, and I've been surprised how much it's changed in that time. And I'm really into photography too, and I agree with that. It's a great place to take pictures and to observe nature.
So new guy in town.
Yeah.
So where you been before this?
I'm coming here from Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
I was,
hold on, I'm sorry. Asheville, North Carolina. I've always been a big fan of the way the Chicago Bulls coach delivered Jordan's when he used to come out on the court. The delivery of North Carolina. I always loved that, so I've kind of attached it. So Asheville, North Carolina, very cool.
Yep. I work for the state of North Carolina there as a reptile biologist and studying mostly turtles and snakes and.
So all the slithery stuff, and then you come down here and you study the feathers and the flyers.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm still interested in the slithery stuff too, and there's a lot of snakes here in New Mexico, so I was really excited to see all that.
Sure. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Lots of danger, lots of dangerous snakes out there. You just have to be knowledgeable. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, you just have to keep your distance. I mean, the rattlesnake doesn't want to hurt you, and so you just gotta keep a safe distance.
Respect his space, and he'll respect yours.
Exactly.
Simple as that. Very cool. So, and I've always been fascinated by the migratory patterns of birds and how they just know where to go.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me. So it's like, so you said 15 to 30,000 sandhill cranes going to be just in our area for just that little bit of time.
Yeah.
And they always know where to stop.
Yeah. Yeah. They have really amazing abilities to have like a sense of direction, and a lot of them are able to even sense magnetic fields and use that to migrate.
Wow.
And the cranes we get come all the way from Siberia. they migrate to Siberia in the summertime, and then they nest up there and then fly back.
It's quite the flight.
Yeah.
That is,
international flyers.
Absolutely. We made sure that they're all like clean. They're not taking any of our secrets back.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we got to make sure. If they're flying over international waters, we need to make sure to check them before they fly out of here. I know they're chipped and stuff, but there's other stuff. So you said you're going to be doing the surveys for the next month?
Well, we'll be doing the surveys from when they come to when they go.
Okay.
So we tend to do it from the end of September until March.
What does that entail?
So for the sandhill crane surveys, we actually go out before the sun rises, and so the cranes they stay on the refuge overnight, and then they fly away early in the morning, and they go to like the farms and a lot of other places like in the county or around, and then they fly back right before sunset. So we go out there an hour before sunrise, and we just count how many sandhill cranes fly over us. Like
you have to count fast.
Yeah, I was going to say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yep.
Somebody with a clicker there.
Yeah, exactly.
That is awesome. So is that like you said? So they fly out to like the farms during the daytime. I'm guessing to hunt, to take care, to feed.
Yeah.
Has that been an issue with any like farms in the area, or is it something that just has worked well with the ecosystem? Because you hear about like bothersome issues with farmers, crops, and things like that. What do they mostly hunt?
They mostly eat like insects and things like that. I don't think they would eat the crops themselves. I think some people, some farmers might not like have them around, but I don't think they really bother the crops too much.
More of a farmer's friend than a farmer's fiend.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Very cool, very cool. So the Sandhills are doing their thing now. What else you guys got planned for the fall time here at Bitter Lakes?
Well, every year we also do invertebrate surveys and fish surveys. We have we have 4 species of endangered invertebrates on the refuge, and so we do the surveys in like January or so. But we have 2 species of endangered snails. They're micro snails. They're about 2 millimeters long, so just a little bit bigger than a grain of sand.
Really?
And,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's funny too. In this area, maybe it's different at Bitter Lakes, but in Roswell, I have never in my entire life in Roswell seen a snail. Now I went up the hill to Ruidoso and we stayed at a cabin up in the mountains. And after a nice mountain rain, the entire front yard and front porch were covered in snails.
Oh wow!
It was insane. It's like the first time in my natural life I've ever seen snails up close.
Cool.
But it's just so you don't see those, see things like snails in places like Roswell. But out at Bitter Lakes, you have stuff like that.
Yeah, and you have to look for them because
they're
small.
Little tiny things.
Oh, of course. And that's something also to keep in mind is it is a refuge. Of course, when you go out to Bitter Lakes, it's open to the public. So take pictures, be a part of the wildlife, but be careful out there. Let's keep the ecosystem the way it is. Don't take of anything. Just take pictures and leave only memories, as they say.
Yep. Exactly.
That's very important. So, but the wildlife refuge is open. It is open to the public. What's up for grabs out there at the refuge? What can people expect when they go out?
Right now they can expect to see a lot of like the sunflowers, like I was saying, and we have a lot of water birds in our different wetlands, and it's really colorful right now with all the flowers, and it's really green right now. It's since all this rain has come through, but. Yeah, a lot of birds, a lot of flowers, and there's quite a diversity of wildlife there. I think we get throughout the year 350 bird species that use the refuge.
Wow!
So there's a big diversity in birds. We have a lot of herons and ducks and cranes and a lot of like raptors too. We have a lot of owls and hawks and.
It is migratory season.
Yeah.
Sure.
So most of them are traveling through.
Heading south.
Yeah. So pretty soon
head
here
to Cabo.
Yeah.
No, most species of ducks that I've ever met, they like to vacation on the beach. I understand.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. It's nice, get your web feet in the sand.
Yeah.
It feels good.
They go as far south as the Gulf.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of them do.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and then they make Roswell a stop along the way. That's pretty
That's
cool.
what this refuge is all about. It's an oasis in the desert here.
It really is, and it's crazy if you look at it because you look all around it. We have brown, beige. That's like the color of New Mexico. And then right out there, it's just green and lush, and the yellows of the sunflowers. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, I know you guys do the tours, obviously, with Dragonfly Fest, but you guys do any kind of like private tours for schools or anything like that?
I think we do this from time to time. I don't think we've been doing them recently, but
the Friends group is trying to put together something of that nature.
Okay.
Especially for new members or members who have just re-signed their membership, extended their memberships.
Okay.
We want to put together some private
like a perks
tours.
package.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that we can take them. There are areas of the refuge that the public doesn't normally get an access to.
Gotcha.
Because it's protected. You know, we need to protect that property.
Sure.
But with these tours, we can take a certain number of people more behind the scenes, you might say.
You limit the footprint so it's not everybody
Right.
going through. It's just a few people, and it kind of
Right.
limits the impact.
And that will be, when we get this set up, that will mostly be members only. Well, it will be members only, but whether
Great
they
jacket.
just to renew their membership or brand new members, we'll figure that out as we get into this.
So let's talk about that for a second. If somebody wants to, if somebody's been listening and they're fascinated by nature like I am, they want to join the Friends of Bitter Lakes. How does that process go? How do they reach out to you?
Aha. Usually, now this weekend, of course, is chili cheese, so
yes,
I'm not going to be there. The next weekend is the state fair.
Mhm.
I'm not going to be there.
So for a couple weeks, take a break. But
yeah, normally we have the farmers market at Travis County. We set up one of the stations there. You'll see the American Legion, Friends of Bitter Lake, and Alzheimer's. We run them all three right under one.
right there
group.
in the center there, because I know that's where the they set up like right there.
Right there in the
middle
center.
of the courthouse.
The steps going up into the courthouse.
Mhm.
And I will have membership forms there.
Okay.
Or you can actually go out to the refuge. Nature store is open from 9 to 4 Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And there are membership forms there. And you fill out your membership. It's probably the cheapest membership you're going to find of any Friends group. It's only $10 per person.
Oh, wow.
Or now I have to think here. Yeah. Of course, couples are a little more. I think they're 15 for a couple, and then we have corporate and student memberships as well. I think our students are only $5.
Oh, wow.
You show your student ID and you can get a membership. I think it's $5.
And you get all the perks. You get the private tours that they're working on. You get all the all the extras, and you just know that every cent that you're spending with Friends of Bitter Lakes is going to benefit Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, benefit these conservation projects. Of course, pay for these surveys that they do throughout the years. I mean, all this stuff costs money. So this is definitely a need.
That's how we were able to put on the Dragonfly Festival. We didn't charge people to go there.
Right.
It's free.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing they had to pay for is to buy a hot dog from the Boy Scouts or an icy from the ice guy. The nature store, you buy products in the nature store, that money goes right back into the Friends to do things like the Dragonfly Festival, Cranes and Cocoa that's coming up, things of that nature, and to help with planting milkweed for the butterflies. The Pecos flowers, we help with that. The cost of actually getting out there, collecting the seeds and redistributing them. We help with paying some of the now, we've had a lot of rain, but we still have a water bill out there sometimes.
Sure.
So we help with paying some of that, or with seeding some of the areas for the birds, things of that nature.
Sure.
So all of that money goes right back into refuge.
Absolutely, and it's a necessity. So just remember that every cent that you're spending, that's going to a fantastic cause.
Yep.
So Cranes and Cocoa, you mentioned back there. That's coming up in the very near future.
Yes, it is. The Saturday after Thanksgiving. In other words, you have your Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. You vegetate on Friday.
You murder 13 people at a Walmart on Black Friday.
There you go. That's it.
Right.
And then on Saturday, you can go out and watch the cranes.
Nice.
What we do is on Saturday afternoon, there will be a presentation. One of our members, Jim Montgomery, who a longtime member, he was around when they started the Friends group. He was one of the first Friends group people.
Mm-hmm.
He has recently moved to Santa Fe,
Okay.
but he comes back down. He came down for the Dragonfly Festival to do some of the bird tours.
Awesome.
He also will be here for the Cranes in Cocoa to do a presentation on the cranes, which he does every year. So he's a big advocate for this whole refuge thing, and he will be doing a presentation that afternoon, Saturday afternoon, starting about 3:00.
Okay.
Once the presentation is over, it's probably getting pretty close to dark. Then we'll do a little caravan out around the loop and to see if we can figure out where the cranes will land that night, so that line up and you can watch the cranes come in from their daily
And
feeding.
that's like right at dusk, or is that after nightfall?
No, right at sunset.
Awesome.
As the sun's going down, you'll see them coming in.
Oh,
and sometimes we have seen clouds of them.
I can only imagine. I'm just picturing in my head just the backdrop of, because I've been out to like Carlsbad Caverns when the bat, for the bat flight, and just kind of a reverse of that, just seeing just these
Same idea.
clouds of cranes coming in for the night. That is.
Now that's what Carl gets to see in the mornings when he's doing the crane counts. He watches them go out.
Yeah, but he doesn't watch as closely because he's sitting there going,
Yeah, that's right.
So he doesn't get to enjoy it as much, but very cool. So that's the Friday after Thanksgiving, Saturday after Thanksgiving. Excuse me.
Right.
That's going to be happening with Cranes and Cocoa. So it sounds like you guys have a busy schedule of events out there at.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
So folks want to learn more about you guys, about Friends of Bitter Lakes. How do they go about doing so? Come on out and visit.
Yeah.
Just come experience it for yourself, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I sort of put you on the spot. Sorry, guys.
Come on out and see the refuge and see what it's all about, and and we'll
take a
we'll show
tour
you
around the loop. And one other thing, we just this last summer, or last spring, reopened a bird blind.
Oh, okay.
So as you drive around the loop, there is a spot on the east side. There'll be a walkway, or you can park there, and then there's a little walkway that goes out into the middle of the place. Stay on the walkway, please.
Sure.
You don't want to get out into the marshy areas and such. But if you stay on that walkway, you'll go up to a little rise, and there'll be a building there, which is a bird blind, and it overlooks the ponding areas, so you can watch birds from that spot.
I like that. That's
we
really
had to,
cool.
And we have a spotting scope in there to.
Oh, really?
Nice. Get a good look at them.
So from one side, it's basically a facade of wilderness, essentially, so that the birds can't see that there's a something there.
Kind of, yeah. Right.
Very cool. Very cool.
And that whole walkway was kind of destroyed. It was bad shape, really bad shape. Plus, it was not handicapped accessible. So we rebuilt that walkway and the ramp up to the bird blind so that it's now handicap accessible.
Oh, wow.
We can now take a motorized wheelchair or a regular wheelchair, whichever, and go right up to it.
You've made nature ADA compliant. It's very rare that you see nature being ADA compliant. That's fantastic.
That was the whole point of doing this.
What time do you guys open up to the public?
Where the refuge is open sunrise to sunset.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Right.
So as soon as the sun comes up, you're free to tour the grounds at your leisure, take in the sights, and of course, stay on the trails. Like we said, don't let's keep our footprint as small as possible when we're out of the refuge.
That's the whole point of that refuge is it's nature. You want to go recreation and swim and things like that. Go out here to bottomless lakes. That's what they're for.
That's right.
They're there
Something for everybody
time.
here in Roswell, but if you're at Bitter Lakes, let's respect nature while nature respects us.
Absolutely.
And Christmas is coming on.
Yes, very fast.
So the nature store, like I said, open from 9 to 4 Monday through Friday. tremendous gifting opportunities.
Absolutely, and one of a kind gift ideas, like these buttons. You send something like this to your family, and I have family in Oklahoma. They would love stuff like this.
Yep.
My mom she lived for a good solid decade and a half in Roswell. She loved Dragonfly Festival, so things like this are a reminder of her time here and just the little corner of the world that we have that nobody else has.
Yep.
It's fascinating. That what is it over? Is it 150 different species of dragonflies that travel through during Dragonfly Festival?
Well, it's over 100.
So I think it's just over 100.
That's amazing. I didn't even know there were that many species of dragonfly, and they all come through.
It's incredible. Yeah,
you won't find that many species of the dragonfly in one relative location anywhere in the world.
It's just right here.
Just in this one group, the largest number in this compact area.
Don't take it for granted, Roswell. Realize that we have something special right here in our backyard. Take some time, go out to take a family out, take a camera, and spend some time out at Bitter Lakes. It'll definitely be worth your while. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Anytime you guys have anything going on, come on back to us.
All right, we will for sure.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
13 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with some local news.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The town of Dexter continues mourning after the loss of a high school football player in a horrible car crash last week. Another boy is still fighting for his life at a hospital. Justice Sanders and Wyatt Garner were both badly injured. Sanders, a passenger in the car, later died of his injuries. The Dexter football team is now raising money for the boys and their families. They've already raised $10,000, and they hope to continue. The Eddy County Commissioners have unanimously agreed to give sheriff's deputies and jail guards a pay raise. Newly hired jail personnel will also get a $5,000 signing bonus. The sheriff telling commissioners in a memo, the sheriff's office has seen an overall decline in the number of employees every month for the past 9 months. In fact, right now there are 18 vacant positions, the majority of them in the patrol division. The jail itself has more than 30 job openings. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
That's wrong, You ever fallen asleep on somebody's side? It's amazing. 11 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a cold front to our north. Doesn't look like it'll make it down into our area, so we'll stay pretty hot today. A little bit breezy during the afternoon, and our high should be around 90 with lots of sunshine. Overnight it'll be clear. We'll drop into the low 60s, and then about the same for Friday. We're expecting low 90s and sunshine. For the upcoming weekend, 90 to 95 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 67 degrees. I'm sorry. I'm sitting there listening to him deliver the weather. Do you think that there's somebody in a studio that actually produces the music that they use for the weather? Like somebody sitting in a studio is like, all right, we got to put out a banger today. I'm thinking like a weather bed. You got something there. Yeah, keep it going, homie. My mind is weird. 67 degrees currently, humidity at 68%, winds out of the north at around 14 miles an hour, the barometer at about 30.22 inches with a dew point of 56 degrees. Looking at a high of 92 for the high for your Thursday. Mostly sunny skies, winds out of the northeast 10 to 15 miles an hour, becoming south 15 to 20 later in the afternoon. For tonight, mostly clear, low of around 63, south winds 5 to 15 miles an hour for your Friday. Like I said, we've slipped into a bit of a holding pattern. 94 for the high on Friday, 93 for Saturday, and mid-90s for your Sunday as well, 93 degrees for Sunday. But then, 86 for Monday, 88 for Tuesday, and 87 cool degrees for your Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to wear a long-sleeve T-shirt next week. That's right. I'm going to go there.
Gasp.
This man is over-gasped. Yeah, it's one of those things I look forward to every year. I'm not sure if you were you here last year around this time?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know of the glory of long-sleeve T-shirt season. It's a big deal for me. The problem is Walmart stopped selling the shirts that I like. For like 3 years, they put out this. It was specifically a long-sleeve T-shirt that had and you'll see it. You'll see it over time. It's a diamond design, so it's like one color for the chest plate, and the arms are a different color. I love that design. Like, I love it. I have like every different color that they put out of that shirt. But then after like 3 years of putting that shirt out, they stopped making it. And it drives me nuts. I can't find it again. And I have a lot of them, but they're also in disrepair, because I've worn a lot of them out. So, holes in the armpits and whatnot. So it's time to replenish my stock. Walmart took them off the shelf. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do now.
It's out of style.
It was out of style to begin with because you're buying it at Walmart. Actually, what's funny is Walmart is actually dictating young people's style now. I did a story actually on today's show over on our sister station, 92.9 The Brand. Want to ring that bell for me? There you go. But I ran the story that right now the big trend with kids is band logo T-shirts. Everybody's into band logo T-shirts, even though they don't know who the bands are. And a big part of that is because places like your Urban Outfitters, your Walmarts are starting to sell these band logo T-shirts, and kids are really into them.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is nobody knows who the bands are. And I fell victim to that the other day. I was walking through Walmart, and I saw, and I'm probably going to end up buying it. It's a really cool hoodie. It's black, but it's a Grateful Dead hoodie, and it's got that logo of the Grateful Dead, with all the multicolored bears on it.
Yeah.
It's really cool looking. I don't know a single Grateful Dead song.
Right.
I know like one.
Yeah.
I know like, are they the ones that did that? Well, no, no, I don't know a single Grateful Dead song.
Like, I know two of their songs, but I don't know the name of it.
What I know of Grateful Dead is the Jerry Garcia. It wasn't even him, but the Jerry Garcia appearance in the movie Half Baked. And of course Cherry Garcia. But that's all I know of the Dead. But their logo is really cool, and I want that hoodie, even though I know I'm gonna face the whole. Give me two of their songs. But like at that point, I'm gonna troll back, and I'll be like, Studio and In the Air Tonight.
Yeah.
Just pull those out of my keister. I don't know.
It reminds me of the South Park bit where Stan gets a teenager.
Oh, where they all get their teenagers. That's so good.
Yeah, and his teenager is wearing a Thrasher magazine shirt.
Right.
I'm just finding out what that even is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Thrasher magazine was a big deal back in my day. Thrasher magazine, I
saw someone wearing that at the Wool Bowl one time.
Really?
During the ESPN game.
They're doing it ironically. I understand that. But still, I always wanted to be that guy. I'm still probably going to buy the hoodie, even though I'm going to face the ire of the community. And one person in specific, whose name is Chris, I know if I ever wear that hoodie around him, he'd be like, take that hoodie off before you jinx him and they break up the band.
If they didn't break up by now, then
it's kind of a jerk. Actually, the Grateful Dead, the only way they're going to break up is as members die off. And now John Mayer, I think, is touring with him with Dead and Company, so they're good for a while.
A while?
A while. 6 minutes away from 9 o'clock. Let's pause and get you up to date with that Wall Street Business Report.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Federal Reserve raised its key interest rate Wednesday by 0.75 points for a third straight time and signaled more rate hikes are to come, an aggressive pace that will heighten the risk of an eventual recession. The Gap is slashing 500 corporate jobs in San Francisco and New York as it looks to reduce expenses amid slumping sales. The job cuts confirmed by a company spokesperson follow years of struggle at the San Francisco-based retailer, which operates its namesake stores, as well as the Old Navy and Banana Republic. The troubles just keep piling up for the plant-based food company Beyond Meat. The company suspended top executive Doug Ramsey after he was charged with felony battery following a fight outside of a college football game in Arkansas. He's charged with biting a man's nose and terroristic threatening. Shares of Beyond Meat have slumped as plant-based burgers, sausages, and other imitation meat products aren't as popular. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
I'm Mitch Krukowskis, Vice President of Strata Production Company, a local oil and gas business in Roswell. We must have representatives like Greg Nybert who know the economic drivers of this community and New Mexico. Greg has pushed back on efforts by liberal Democrats who are against oil and gas. With over 39 years' experience, Greg Nybert knows the jobs local oil and gas companies create, the opportunities we provide, and the prosperity we bring to our communities. Oil and gas accounts for over 40% of the state budget and has allowed our state to provide raises to educators and state police, and the rebate checks you receive. Please vote for Greg Nybert for State Representative, District 59, to keep a strong conservative voice in our legislature.
I'm Greg Nybert, and I ask you to please vote for me for House District 59. Voting begins on October 11th, and Election Day is November 8th.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative. Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you could call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
Make your home a smart home with Smart Home Wi-Fi from Plateau. Now you can connect more devices to fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your home. That means faster speeds with no downtime or lag. Enhance your connection, expand your reach, and experience whole home device control and protection with Plateau. Plateau offers true fiber with options starting as low as $60 a month, all with no caps and no hidden fees. Call today, 575-755-1000, or stop by 1001 South Main in Roswell. Get Smart Home Wi-Fi today from Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Buying a sewing machine from a big box store or online might seem like a bargain, but in this case, you really do get what you pay for. Just the machine. No lessons, no help with figuring out why it isn't working the way you expect, and no one close to fix it. Buying locally from an authorized retailer may cost a little more, but in the end, it will save you time, money, and aggravation. Come see me, Chris Ann, at So Easy Sewing, 200 East College Boulevard in Roswell, and let me show you why it pays to shop local. So Easy Sewing. You've never had it so easy.
The season has been a whirlwind for your Goddard Rockets, and coming up this Friday, the boys land back at home at the Wool Bowl, taking on the Panthers of Gadsden High. Fiero 106.1 FM and KSVPTV.com will have every second of the action. Join Chris Deck and Chris Roybal for the pregame show beginning at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Rockets versus the Panthers of Gadsden High, Friday beginning at 6:45 on KSVP AM and FM and at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. 1 minute away from 9 o'clock. If you missed any portion of this program, remember you can always go back and check it out in its entirety over at KSVPTV.com. Just click on the Mornings with Mike Winters tab, and you'll be treated to the show in its entirety. After the show, we'll get the interviews we had today up piecemeal, and you can check them out over on Facebook, or of course, and I was told that we don't mention it enough, on our YouTube page. That's right, KSVP TV has a YouTube page. Go find it, add it, subscribe, like, smash that like button, as they say, and make it a part of your everyday life. I'm pretty sure I just broke Roy. I think I just broke Roy.
Man,
so,
this Coke with coffee sure is great.
There it is. There it is. The ringing endorsement I needed. We are out of time this hour, but coming up next hour, I'm going to tell you how I broke Roy. There was a moment here in studio where I don't think he realized I was doing a bit. But that's the thing. If I tell you I'm doing a bit before I do a bit, it's not going to have as much impact.
Right.
So stay tuned. After the break, we'll tell you how I broke Roy. maybe my children. I think I'm coming to a weird head here, but that's coming up after Town Hall News on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
Clyde Lewis and Ground Zero is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
There have been demonstrations and more than 1,000 arrests across Russia after Vladimir Putin announced a call-up of reservists to fight in Ukraine. Correspondent Ed Donahue says a lot of Russians also trying to flee their homeland.
That woman was in a crowd in Moscow saying no to war. She also said, "I am not afraid. I am not afraid of anything. The most valuable thing that they can take from us is the lives of our children. I won't give them my child's life." The Moscow prosecutor's office warned organizing or taking part in a demonstration could lead to up to 15 years in prison. Other Russians responded by trying to leave the country. and flights out of Russia quickly became booked.
President Biden describing as outrageous Vladimir Putin's behavior, including his threats amid setbacks in his drive to take over Ukraine.
The president is critical of Russia's Vladimir Putin for making overt nuclear threats, describing them as reckless. Mr. Biden also condemns Russia for scheduling what he called sham referenda this week in Ukraine territory it has seized by force.
This world should see these outrageous acts for what they are.
At the UN yesterday, the president called on the world to bolster Ukraine's effort to defend itself. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Former President Trump continuing to defy what he describes as a political witch hunt. In this case, a New York Attorney General's lawsuit targeting Mr. Trump and members of his family for their business dealings. A Trump lawyer says the suit is neither focused on the facts nor the law. Hurricane Fiona, potent Category 4 storm expected to slam Bermuda the coming 24 hours as the storm continues to move to the north. The Dow down 133 points, NASDAQ off 165. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
Ukraine announcing a high-profile prisoner swap after months of efforts to free Ukrainian fighters.
On a blustery evening somewhere in Ukraine, many of the released prisoners are greeted by embraces and a cry of glory to heroes. Many of these men were fighters who defended a steel plant in Mariupol during a long Russian siege. In exchange, Ukraine gave up an ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin, a Ukrainian oligarch and pro-Russian opposition leader Viktor Medvedchuk. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said his government had won freedom from Russian custody for 215 Ukrainian and foreign citizens. Zelensky also said that many of the fighters in custody were facing the death penalty. I'm Karen Chamas.
The UK's government has formally confirmed it's lifting a ban on fracking in England, arguing the move will help to boost the country's energy security amid Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. Townhall.com. More testimony in the civil trial of Alex Jones.
Two parents of children killed in the 2012 Sandy Hook school massacre and the daughter of the school's slain principal testified Wednesday of the fear and pain they've suffered from being targeted with threats by those who believe the lie that the shooting was a hoax. David Wheeler, Erica Lafferty, and Jennifer Hensel are among those suing conspiracy theorist Alex Jones for damages for promoting the Sandy Hook conspiracy theories on his media platforms, including his InfoWars web show. A judge last year found Jones and InfoWars parent company Free Speech Systems liable by default for failing to turn over documents in the case. The jury is hearing evidence to determine how much Jones should pay. Keith Peters reporting.
An Indiana judge has blocked the state's abortion ban from being enforced, putting that new law on hold as clinic operators argue it violates the state constitution. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. I guess I'm going to stall for a lot longer. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace Inviernos.
Of Morning Without Mike
Don't
Winters.
worry, I got to turn on the camera.
Well, I know. I was going to have you do that first, then turn on the camera. Morning Without Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday. That's
Yes.
right. I made the silent letter loud.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Talk FM. I use that mic. Knock it off. Getting your breath all up in it. All right, so the end of last hour, we're sitting here. I got to tell you how I think I might have accidentally broke Roy. He's not new here, but he doesn't know us that well. He doesn't know me and my personality that well. So I'm sitting here, I'm chatting, I'm chatting with a friend on Snapchat, and Roy says something just kind of under his breath, just not thinking about it. Now, at the beginning of last hour, a little context. At the beginning of last hour, Roy starts talking about the beverage he's enjoying, his Coca-Cola with coffee. And so I asked him, point blank, I said, is it good? And he wouldn't say that it was good. Several times I asked him if it was good. He flat out refused to say it was good. Like he did, and the argument was he didn't want his endorsement to go out if it was a subpar product. But then we're off the air. The microphones are off. I'm on my phone. We're just kind of waiting for the next break. And out of the corner of my ear, I hear Roy say, "Boy, this Coke with coffee is really good." Like after trying desperately to get him to give some kind of endorsement of it on the air, he wouldn't do it. But off the air, he would. So I was chatting with a friend at the time. I didn't hear what he said. And I said, "Say what you just said again." And he said, "Well, this Coke with coffee is really good." And I shot up out of my chair. I said, "How dare you? How dare you?" And I started screaming at him. "How dare you endorse a product off the air that you're not willing to stand behind on the air? That's hypocrisy, sir. I will not stand for it." He didn't know I was doing a bit. For a quick minute, he sat there in abject silence like, what do I do? You had the look on your face that I always got when my parents used to fight when I was a kid. And that's, they'd start arguing, they'd start doing their thing. I would find either a quiet corner of the room to stare at or a TV. And I would just block everything else out. You blocked it out. It was fascinating watching him block it out. It was really great. But yeah, I had to explain after the fact I was doing a bit. He goes, "You okay?"
Yeah, in my defense, I'm still new to the rules of radio, so it's like I don't want to say like, "Oh yeah, this Coca-Cola."
Oh yeah, I wasn't asking for a flat out product plug or anything, but if you enjoy a product, you can say you like it.
Right.
You don't have to be worried that your voice, you being the voice of the people, is going to affect the purchasing of the masses. Which I wish I had that kind of influence.
I mean, I would love to do a Mike Myers Pizza Hut, or no, was it Pizza Hut where Wayne's World, where he's like winks at the camera?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Wayne's World, I believe, was
a moment like that. I would love
driving along, enjoying this delicious Pizza Hut pizza. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of product endorsement. Ding. But yeah, so I startled young Roy, and I apologize for that. Roy had a real deer in the headlights look. In fairness, that wasn't the rules of radio. That was me off the air, just losing my stuff. I was like, ooh, this is an opportunity for a bit. One thing you have to learn about me, and I'm going to put this on my tombstone: commit to the bit. I always, if there's a bit that I'm doing, I will commit to it 100%.
I'm sure it was just pent-up anger, just had to be released.
It might have been that too. It's I've been single for a while. Hey, coming up this hour, we're going to be joined, hopefully, here in just the next few minutes, with Miss Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society, chatting about all the stuff happening over at the Humane Society, adorable adoptables waiting for you, the felines and the canines, and of course, everything that's happening over at the thrift store. All the stuff waiting for you for the fall time season. Obviously, Halloween about to rear its head, so I'm sure there's some costumes waiting for you there at the thrift store. We'll get into that with Miss Crystal coming up here in just a few minutes at around 9:15 or so. I got to tell you, Chris in studio with us today. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I got a real Wilson from Home Improvement vibe going on, because you're like right behind the screen. You're like
kind of hiding behind your monitor,
making eye contact with me, and all I can see is the top half of the bill. So it's very. I don't know.
Good. You can't see what's going on down below the desk.
I'm thinking if I could see your mouth, I'm sure you'd be mouthing obscenities under your breath.
Me never.
Son of a dirty son. But yeah, how you feeling?
Doing pretty good. Still having some issues. Yeah, I'm having some. I'm gonna have to go back and get some more MRIs.
Really?
Yes.
You're thinking more work ahead, or
most likely, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you happen to hear the conversation we had the other day?
It depends. I do tune in.
Okay.
When I'm out. Oh, yes.
I believe it was yesterday. We were talking about how at the car show, how 1 minute you were there. Neck brace free, and the next minute I turn around and I look, and you were in the brace, and you had mentioned it's because it's to take some of the nerves or some of the pressure off of the spine because you're experiencing some numbness still.
Yeah.
So Mike likened you to Wonder Woman.
Okay.
In that he's curious if you just spin around really fast and all of a sudden you're in a neck brace.
It's one of those things that, like, the first few times I put it on, it's probably like, I mean, I remember when I had knee surgery, it took me like 10 minutes to get my knee brace situated the first time. And then it gets to the point where you're putting it on in about a half a second,
Right. So now it's like snap.
And I think that's what it is. It's just, I know I've got it finally set where I know where the Velcro goes. For those that don't know, I had neck surgery. So I probably should have said that. They're all like, what are they talking about? But I had my spine fused. And so, I have to wear a neck brace from time to time. It helps keep my muscles from getting tired a little bit.
Sure.
But and it keeps me from turning my head. That's my problem is the one thing that's been the most difficult about this is you're so used to, like, I'm sitting next to the wife watching TV and she's like, oh, did you see that? And you turn your head over real fast. That's not good when you just had neck surgery, and it's such an instinctual thing. The dog barks, so you look to the front door, that's what's been tough. So the brace actually kind of helps with that a little bit by keeping me from turning my head as fast.
Forces the hand, so to speak. You almost have to de-evolutionize because we've evolutionarily led to if there's a sound over here, we look this way to see if it's danger, and now you have to unlearn and relearn.
And trading your friend, So I had this surgery done in El Paso, so we drive back and forth, and we're driving along, and of course the wife's like, "Oh, look at those clouds over there! Look at the mountain. Mountains look pretty." Just everybody around you doesn't even think about it either. Like, hey, can you hand me that over there? And you have to unlearn lifelong habits or retrain
somebody coming
your
up
brain
from behind you. Hey, Chris! That's got to be tough. So But well, hopefully, the future MRIs and stuff will find the problem and we can move forward in the right direction.
I'll be back on the trampoline before you know it.
That's right. The bionic man.
That's right.
We can rebuild him.
No.
We had the technology. We just don't want to spend a lot.
That's right.
13 minutes after 9 o'clock, we'll be sitting down with Miss Crystal Noble coming up here in just a few minutes. Let's get you up to date. Let me click it so it doesn't lie to me with
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a cold front to our north. Doesn't look like it'll make it down into our area, so we'll stay pretty hot today. A little bit breezy during the afternoon, and our high should be around 90 with lots of sunshine. Overnight it'll be clear. We'll drop into the low 60s, and then about the same for Friday. We're expecting low 90s and sunshine. For the upcoming weekend, 90 to 95 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 67 degrees around Roswell. Humidity at 68%. Wind speeds out of the north at around 14 miles per hour. Fun fact, that's actually Tails' real name in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. Miles per hour. Sunny skies, 92 for the high today. Winds out of the northeast, 10 to 15 miles an hour, becoming 15 to 20 out of the northwest later in the afternoon. Slipping into a holding pattern of sorts for the rest of your week. 94 degrees for your Friday, 93 for your Saturday, all under sunshine with winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. That's when things start to change. Sunday, we're looking at a high of 91, and then we're back into the 80s. Good time to be alive. Good temperature to be alive, too. Mondays, mostly sunny, 86 for the high. Tuesdays, mostly sunny, 88 for the high. And for your Wednesday, sunny skies and 87 degrees. Taking a look at this, making sure I don't have any live reads. We're good. 15 minutes after 9 o'clock. Going to pause, pay a couple of these bills. And after these, I'll be sitting down, chatting with Miss Crystal Noble from the Roswell Humane Society on a morning without Mike Winters. Stay tuned.
There's at least one thing most New Mexicans agree on. Our schools have a long way to go. That's why Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is breathing new life into public education with initiatives that support our children from their first baby steps to promising career paths. Like expanding in-home family services, early childhood and pre-K, so thousands more kids will go off to school healthy and ready to learn. And attracting new teachers by raising salaries to the highest in the Southwest. It's already paying off by recruiting hundreds of new teachers to our classrooms this year. And she is cutting teacher paperwork and administrative burdens by 41%, so they have more time to teach our children. Thanks to the governor's new Opportunity Scholarships, any New Mexican can now attend a state college for free to earn a certificate or degree in a wide range of high-demand fields. After 2 tough years, we're finally making progress in education. We can't afford to go back to the failed policies of the past.
Paid for by New Mexicans for Michelle.
Approved by Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Hello, I'm Tara Mitcha, State Director for the National Rifle Association, letting you know that the NRA Political Victory Fund endorses State Representative Greg Nybert for re-election in House District 59. Greg has worked relentlessly to support our Second Amendment rights and to oppose legislation that restricts law-abiding gun owners. Progressive politicians in Santa Fe have an agenda that would erode our right to protect our families, our homes, and ourselves. Greg Nybert will vigorously oppose those who want to tread on our right to keep and bear arms and our precious liberty and freedom. He is a true friend of the Second Amendment and of our sporting heritage in New Mexico. Vote Greg Nybert, representative for House District 59.
This is Dallas Cowboys football 2022.
So here comes 3rd and 5.
Only heard here.
Inside the 10. Brady in the gun, 3rd down, snap back.
All season.
Looking around, flushed out. Parsons has sacked him. Parsons again.
Monday night, it's your Cowboys and the New York Giants.
Live from MetLife Stadium.
On this Dallas Cowboys radio network station.
Pre-game at 5, kickoff at 6 on Southeastern New Mexico's official Cowboys station, 92.9 The Brand. The season continues for your Roswell Coyotes, and this Friday night, your Coyotes take the show on the road once again, headed to Clovis to take on the Wildcats. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSVPTV.com have got you covered. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show beginning at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. Coyotes versus the Wildcats of Clovis High. Friday beginning at 6:45 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and online worldwide at KSVPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
Yeah, you never know what the camera's going to catch. And good morning, 19 minutes after 9 o'clock on this morning without Mike Winters. And joining us in studio this morning, Miss Crystal Noah from the Roswell Humane Society. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, good. I like the breeze outside right now. Like, it's perfect.
It's nice.
It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just like that breeze you want when you're sitting outside barbecuing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's room temperature on the outside, which that's what I've been saying all morning is we're slipping into that pattern where next week it's going to be the 80s. It's almost long sleeve t-shirt season where, it's like not sweater season, but, you need something to cover up the lower part of the arms a little bit.
What I like is the fact that I know hoodie season is about to come.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not so much the fact that I'm cold. It's I like the comfort of a hoodie. It's like my whoopee.
You know what? I haven't heard the term whoopee in several months, so I like that. Props to you for calling it the whoopee.
I have multiple whoopies.
Well, I didn't know until about a year ago today almost that a whoopee is actually an army term. Like that's an army. They give that out with like your kit is you get your whoopee. I'm like. That's like an army term?
Well, what is the whoopee that they give out?
It's like a camo, like blanket thing, but it's like thin, so it's like it'll cover you like from like wind and sand and stuff.
Gotcha.
But it's also warm enough that it'll heat you up no matter what.
But like the girlfriend I had at the time, she was former military, and she had her whoopee, and it was always on her bed all the time. And that was a military issued whoopee, and that's what every single one of her battles, as she called them, would call it. He's like, "You got your whoopee?" And it's just funny to hear a grown man say the word whoopee. It's like cookie. I spent a large portion of my adult life where I was uncomfortable saying the word cookie as a man.
Oh, because it's in reference to other things?
Well, no. But just because it's such a child, like anything with an IE at the end, you're like, oh man, I don't want to say cookie. You know, it was a weird thing. So it's like when you're a big burly army dude and you're military man, you come out saying whoopee. It's just kind of funny.
So it makes it so much easier for you to say cookie now.
It does. Yeah. Because I can enjoy a cookie in my whoopee. But we're not here to talk about cookies or whoopies. We're here to talk about the adorable adoptables. By the way, feel free to steal that. Over at the Roswell Humane Society. What do you guys have going on?
We have a lot going on. We're back open. Everybody's back and healthy except allergy season, but that's common around this time of the year.
Sure.
Our hours, a reminder to everybody, our hours are now 10 to 12 and 1 to 4:30.
Okay.
Still Tuesdays through Saturdays. We have a variety of dogs from small to big. Good. We still have a lot of big dogs that are Sunflower has hit her 1 year mark at the shelter, and so has Max and Rose. And they're not big dogs, they're medium sized, you know. Out of the three of them, I don't even think any of them weigh over 60 pounds. I think Sunflower might be like 55, but that's just because she's really muscly.
Sure. That's still a big boy. Big girl.
Yeah. And then Max and Rose are probably about 40 pounds, but they're all legs.
Oh, it's all in the trunk. Huh?
So, you know, in the movie, or not the movie, but the Dark Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know the little characters that they ride that have like the really long legs that look funny?
Right.
So that's Max and Rose. Like they have a real skinny body,
right,
but they have like the longest legs ever.
It's adorable.
It is.
I
and
like
it's hilarious because their head is itty bitty too.
Right. So they're AT-ATs, basically. Like from Star Wars. They're AT-ATs. Yeah. Giant legs, little bodies. Yep. That's cute. Well, you know, that's where they derive most of their power. What's the breed?
A Doberman mix.
Oh, okay then. Yeah, those dogs are they're runners, birders, right? I think Dobermans. So yeah, so obviously you know, powerful legs. So hopefully, you know, if you're going to be bringing these dogs on,
and they're not your usual black and tan. They're red.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So if you're going to get these dogs, though, you know, a little more property to run around on, more open house. Probably not the proper trailer dog.
No, and Great Danes are not either.
No, they are not. It's funny.
We have
my aunt, when I was growing up, she lived in a trailer. It was a trailer on a ranch, so it was like a lot of land, but she had 2 gigantic Great Danes. Like when I was like 6 years old, these dogs towered over me. They were huge.
Were you the common 6-year-old that grew normally, or were you the 6-year-old that waited for your growth spurt until you were like 40?
That one.
Okay, that's me.
Yeah, that one.
I still haven't hit my growth spurt yet, though.
I'm worried that my son's is like that. He's gonna shoot up to like 7 feet tall when he's like 10, because he stayed this big, you know, for most of his life. So he's just gonna shoot up one day. But yeah, I respected those dogs. But I love those dogs. They were the sweetest things in the world. And that's the thing, is Great Danes, dogs like that those breeds, they tend to be incredibly loyal and just super duper lovey.
And that's what the 2 Dobermans are mixed with.
Is it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
They are Great Dane Doberman mix.
That's awesome. So super lovey, but also they're going to be active. They need some space.
It's funny because Rose, like, she can jump. You know, she likes to run and hit the side of the kennel and then like jump up the top. So when you walk by it, you know, the concrete barrier is right about 4-ish foot tall, give or take. Well, okay. I can look over if I tiptoe. So she will greet me. She's like, hi. And
hello.
I'm like, hello. And then her brother, you know, he's tall enough to where he just puts his paws up and he's like, what's up?
That's awesome.
He loves to give kisses. Max walks great on a leash. Rose is getting there. Like, she's still a little shy about the whole leash thing. She's like, I don't know about all that. But she's pretty good with strangers. You know, she is a little shy, but once she knows you, she's like, let's get it on.
I think a lot of that also has to do with the dog's history, with you know, maybe former owners. Issues.
Well, when we got them, they were completely feral. They had never had human interaction. At 4 months of age, they had never been handled.
What's that experience like? I mean, I'm sure you've seen that a lot with
commonly
dogs.
We see it in cats. Rarely do we see it in dogs because, you know, it's a puppy. You know, the majority of people, I want to pet a puppy or pick up a puppy. Well, cats are a little bit easier to get feral because, you've got to handle them a whole lot more than you do a dog.
Sure.
But it's not often we see feral dogs coming into the shelter to where they're just humans are like the complete opposite of what they want. Dog was not man's best friend at that time.
Right. Because that's at that point, you almost have to like re-domesticate them.
We did. And that's why Rose is a little bit shyer than Max.
Sure.
She just kind of still has a little bit of that personality that she's not sure humans are okay.
Right.
It takes some time to earn her trust, but she is a great dog. She's sweet. She is very affectionate once she's comfortable with you.
Do you find that people who do multiple visits, maybe over a course of like a period of time to like visit a dog, develop like a rapport with them? Those adoptions are a little easier?
Yes. And a lot of it is like if you are adopting a dog that is not your typical happy-go-lucky dog, the more you come and the more you visit with that dog and the more you spend time with that dog and, bring treats or toys or something like that to show him that or her that you're attempting to earn their trust, that makes a better bond at adoption.
Now, I know that the goal is to get the dogs forever homes, but do you find that that's a better approach of like taking some time and leaving the dog in shelter, but also earning the trust and earning the rapport?
Depending on the personality of the dog. So if you have just your everyday happy-go-lucky dog that, loves everybody, they acclimate a lot easier into the house.
Sure.
But when you have a dog that's a little bit more reserved and not 100% trusting of everybody, it does make it easier when they hang out with us a little bit longer and you come and you build that
makes sense.
Rapport with them. Like we have a Chihuahua there named Rosie. We call her Mama's because when we got her, she was pregnant, but her body aborted the babies.
Oh.
Because of the stress, because she went from animal control to us.
Right.
And she's a biter. She will, if she doesn't know you, she's going to bite you. She put a hole in my water boots.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
dang.
But once she likes you, you are her forever person. She will scream because she wants you to pick her up and carry her with you. So between me, Andrew, and Felicia, half of the time the dog is either in Andrew's vest because he's got her zipped up and she's walking around, or she's sitting inside one of my shirts while I'm cleaning the kennels because she's bonded to us. But all it takes is some pepperonis and about 10 minutes of playing fetch with this dog.
Sure.
And she is your forever.
There you go.
And the little tennis balls, she's annihilated about 40 of them.
So bribery works if you're looking to find a forever friend.
Bribery with pepperonis and little baby tennis balls.
There you go.
And it's funny because even though like she's been with us for a while now, but even though she knows me, she knows Andrew, she knows Felicia, if one of us is holding her and if I go to touch Andrew or if I go to pet her, she snarls because she's protecting who's holding her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's a Chihuahua thing. And I was like, this would be the perfect dog for, somebody who's not as active, who can't get out and like go walking, because you could throw the ball for her and she brings it back to you. She plays fetch great. So you want to hang out around the house and just throw the ball down the hall? This is the dog. And then she's going to sit up there and not let anybody touch you when they come in the house. She is wonderful at telling people, mine? No.
Right. I found Chihuahuas are, generally speaking, Chihuahuas are a good transition dog if you're a cat person trying to become a dog person. Because they're, like you said, they'll do the fetch thing, they'll do the run up the hall, but they're just as happy sitting on your lap hanging out. It makes sense when you're that small, when you're looking at the world from that perspective, and everything is 300 times your size. You want to find some comfort. You want to find whatever makes you feel, at ease. And if it's your person, then yeah, that's going to put them at ease. That's awesome to hear.
And Chihuahuas have little dog syndrome, which essentially their body is itty bitty teeny tiny, and their head, they are the size of a Rottweiler or Bull Mastiff.
So they're going at it.
And they don't back down typically. And a lot of the times, like little breeds like Yorkies, Shih Tzus, Pekingese not so much, but they will pick a fight that they can't finish. So if you have a bigger dog and then you have little dogs, as long as they're acclimated to each other properly and not left unattended until everybody is good, then you won't have to worry about, the little dog syndrome.
Right.
But you can't just throw a little dog with a big dog and leave them alone because you will probably end up with a hurt or dead little dog.
Because they have a lot of go in them, so to speak. So well, awesome. So obviously some great adoptables. How are things in the feline realm?
We just brought in some new cats yesterday, so they're not quite ready yet. I had to transport this past Monday, and we adopted out 2 out of the 4 that were left. So now we have 2 cats.
Really?
Yes. We have Darla, which is a 4 going on maybe 5-year-old domestic short-haired tortoiseshell. Already spayed. The most funniest cat. She acts like a dog.
Really?
She will let you brush her. She will let you brush her belly. She does not have a kills button. You can scratch the tip of her tail and right above her butt and then brush it. No kill switch. It does not turn on.
See, now I've found with most cats, that's not even a kill. I know where the kill switch is on both of my cats. It's mid belly. Like once they're trusting. You're getting there, boy. You better stop it, and I'm gonna bite your hand. It's right about mid belly. But the back, like where the tail meets the keister, they love that. That's like their spot.
That's typically your kill zone on cats.
Really?
It's right there.
So
they love it, but they hate it at the same time.
Because most cats I've and this sounds perverted, but most cats I've done that to will raise their keisters up to receive.
They do, and then they get annoyed with it after a while because they're not getting what they want because that's a simulation for...
Gotcha. No. Say no more. Say less, in fact.
Yes. So that's the kill zone, you know. You can start there, but you can't finish.
Oh, I did not mean to take that conversation to this realm, but okay. So there you go.
But we have R2-D2, which is a black and white. And
Am I
he's
blushing? I can't
4
tell.
years old.
I'm just like, this conversation entered a realm I did not mean for it to.
And then, like I said, Darla, she's 4, going on 5 years old, tortoiseshell. She is like a dog. She fetches.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool.
The little catnip mice, you throw it, she'll run and bring it back to you.
She'll actually bring it back, because most of the cats are like, that's mine's, and then they just keep it.
Yeah, she'll drop it, bring it back to you, drop it. And then she'll look at it like the way she wants you to throw it, like she'll tell you, like that way.
Over there now. That's
I don't want to
awesome.
run over here, I want to run that way.
That's really cool. You don't see that a lot in the kitties. So
No,
that's really
and
cool.
like I always found like it's funny because like you can go and buy all these expensive cat toys and they don't want them. And then you take that little plastic ring off the cap of the milk, the gallon milk, toss that on the floor, and you have the happiest cat in the world. Or simply like one of the pipe cleaners, twist it up into like a fun little design, throw it on the floor. Cats are happy.
I don't know if you're absolutely right on that, because I have a few cat toys they sort of play with, but then it's specifically like the garbage that ends up on the floor out of the trash can. They love that stuff. I'm not sure if my cat ate like lead paint chips or what, but it's like 3 o'clock every single morning. All I hear outside my door is like he skids into walls.
Cats are nocturnal.
Stop.
They sleep all day while we're at work. And then they start waking up as the sun sets.
It's really annoying.
Cats are nocturnal. They play from sunset to sunrise. And then it's nap time.
And that's why they have such attitudes from sunrise to sunset. I understand. Because we're on their time. We're basically walking around when they're trying to sleep. It's like if you ever known somebody that works a graveyard shift, they're basically a cat.
Yes. You know, you have your cats that are like, all right, during the day, you know, they play a little bit, but cats mostly want their attention and their playtime in the nighttime.
So is there like a set best time to feed a cat?
Cats typically like eating at sunset.
Eating at sunset. Okay, because I've been, and maybe that's to my detriment, because I've been feeding my cats when I wake up. And they usually expect it. Like it's really creepy. My cat, my youngest cat, Tony, has been sitting on my nightstand, like in perch mode, waiting for me to wake up. He's like, you're up now? It's food now? We're good? So yeah.
Sunrise, sunset, you know. But cats typically will adjust to any schedule just like a dog. You know, you feed them at this set time and that set time, and they're going to be just fine.
Okay.
So if you feed them when you wake up.
As long as you keep to a routine, that's really the key.
Right. So. And then the funny thing is like on the days you want to sleep in, they're set to that routine. So they're going to tell you, no.
Yeah.
Wake up.
You're not going to do that. Which sucks, because I'm a super early bird, and I overslept a little bit this morning. I think I woke up at like 5:30, And yeah, my cats were like in my face about it. They were like, "You're late." So,
Yep.
I'm getting the wave. What's going on?
So this is gonna sound random.
I'm sure.
But one of our viewers called in to say that they prefer the adjective wild over feral.
Okay.
Because I guess feral was one of y'all said feral.
Yeah, well, that's the terminology, correct?
Yeah, it's correct.
And I don't know. I guess wild is one less syllable to
Well, that makes
worry
sense.
about.
I mean, wild is basically feral, but feral is more specifically like.
I think feral just
reverting-
means like in an urban setting, whereas wild is like in the wilderness.
Well, that could be.
Or I don't know.
Well, so basically, a wild animal is you're gonna think when you say a wild animal, most people are gonna think like a bear, mountain lion,
Sure.
anything in that realm. Pertaining to cats and dogs, that's when we use the term feral, just because it was domesticated at one time and it has reverted back to
okay.
a different.
Right. That's the idea is the reverting is that they've been domesticated and they've kind of undomesticated themselves.
Yes.
So it's a process of
They're
redomestication.
no longer the big cat.
Mhm.
They are the
Feral
small
feral
cat.
also refers to Collins. At least in
Collins?
some cases. Yeah, Colin Farrell. Keep
Phil
up. Will.
Collins?
Keep up. Not all Collins, but Colin Farrell. So okay. So but moving forward, yes, wild, feral,
Yes, we
pretty
do.
solidly equal.
Will
we need
Ferrell?
to get. I need to get that car crash sound effect they use on Opie and Anthony, just for whenever Roy comes in. Boom!
Yes.
Just slam the conversation to all. But that's okay.
The feral of the wills.
Yes. So the feral animals have to be re-domesticated, so to speak. So only a couple of kitties left available. So have you guys ever been without cats? Like, has there been a period in time where you guys are like, obviously dogs are prevalent, so you see more of those. But has there been a period in time where you guys just don't have any cats?
No.
Just no.
No. And actually, we have as almost equal amount of cats waiting to enter the shelter as we do dogs.
Oh, really?
Because cats breed more than
Yes,
dogs
they do.
do.
Yes,
So when a cat is not fixed, they reproduce 4, maybe 5 times a year, depending on circumstances. But that's 4 to 5 litters per cat per year, as to where dogs only breed twice a year, so that's only 2 litters. So there's twice the amount of cats as there are dogs, but we do have more cats that will be coming into the shelter. We've already got them scheduled to come in since we have the transport. But we do have other cats. They just came in. They're just not quite ready for adoption yet.
Gotcha. They're in the quarantine phase.
Yes.
Okay.
And they can see them on the website. Their pictures are on the website. And if they're interested, they can send an email or call.
And that's a good point too. Before you come out, go to the website. It's roswellhumane.org.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so roswellhumane.org. Go to the website. They list all the animals there. You can kind of browse around. It's like shopping for a car. Find one you like, and then come in and meet them in person. Kind of simplifies the process a little bit.
It does, and a lot of people will actually call us ahead of time and say, "Hey, I saw so and so on the website. Is that animal still available, or is it out of quarantine? Can we come and visit with it?" And then that helps us, know, okay, so you're coming to see the cat, so we can make sure to have time to devote to any questions you may have while you were there.
Okay, excellent. So do your research beforehand, and then come on down and browse around. So obviously things firing on all cylinders at the Humane Society. Back to do we fill the staffing hole that we had?
I have somebody coming Saturday, and we're going to see how that works out, and possibly.
And you were looking specifically for a
kennel worker.
A kennel worker, okay. Somebody to kind of do all the other stuff, the dirty work.
So basically, a kennel worker comes in. They take care of the dogs or cats, depending on the area. But right now, we're hiring for dogs. Feed them, clean them, make sure that they're fed properly. If they're on medicine, give them medicines. Pretty much, it's just to maintain the dogs.
Gotcha. Okay. So just keeping them happy. So the thrift store.
Yes, I have a list of stuff.
I was gonna say we're gearing up for like Halloween season, so I'm guessing probably.
She already has Halloween out.
Really?
It looks like a little spooky center over there.
That's awesome.
They've got costumes. They've got. I think I saw one big circle rack full of costumes yesterday. They have decorations galore.
Nice.
They have decor for inside the house. They have outside decorations. They've got their little trick-or-treat buckets. Costumes are only $2 a piece.
I know that we're talking about the thrift store, but I have to stop you for a second. Did you see what McDonald's is doing this year?
No.
They're bringing back the trick-or-treat buckets.
What?
Do you remember the ones from like when we were a kid? You get the Happy Meal, you get the trick-or-treat buckets with the little pumpkin or the little witch on them?
Yes.
They're bringing it back this year.
With the Happy Meals?
Yes.
When does it start?
I don't know. I got a text about it the other day, and I'm like, I have to get one. But if you don't get one from McDonald's, they have them available for you at the thrift store. I know, I'm telling people to go elsewhere.
Or just go get one from McDonald's and then bring it to us.
There you go. I just got me, that brought out my like inner 7-year-old when I saw that. I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I want to get one for both my kids.
That is funny. I will go get a Happy Meal just for that.
Just for the bucket. Heck yeah. But so Halloween decor. And
they do.
I know a lot of people who do that, like who specifically seasonally will decorate every part of their house. My friend Misty is exactly like that. She's got all the spooky stuff up now.
I swear it was like a realm from like when we were kids in high school. Like all of our friends are like Halloween nuts, and I'm like, yeah, I like it, but I just more like the cold weather.
Exactly. We grew up with like the Hocus Pocuses, your Halloween Towns, your what was that other one, Frankenweenie. So we had all those like the good Halloween movies. So that's why we're a generation of Halloween fans.
Nightmare Before Christmas, all of that fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
They do have a clearance rack now.
Oh, awesome.
So anything on the clearance rack is $1.
Okay.
So if it's on the rack, and I think they have it marked clearance, and it's going to be a 3-shelf rack.
Gotcha.
Camille wants me to remind everybody that they do go out and do pickups. So if you have donations that you cannot bring down, just simply call, schedule a pickup, and they will get out there to pick it up. They are able to pick up large furniture, items like that as well.
Just in the Roswell area, I'm assuming.
Yes, just in the Roswell area. Unfortunately, we can't travel far out of town because the cost of fuel, which I saw this morning, jumped another 40 cents.
I know, what the heck? We were doing good for a second.
I know. And I thought yesterday, I should get gas today. And then I was like, no, I'll wait till tomorrow. Yeah, that's what happens when I wait.
Yeah.
But they are able to pick up in the Roswell area. I know we do go out into like Travis County to a certain extent. But if you're curious, just call. And they'll say, either if it's too far or not too far. Today, because it is senior day, they're doing 20% off anything the seniors purchase.
Okay.
So their entire purchase will be 20% off.
Awesome.
And I believe that's going to be every Thursday is seniors day.
Okay.
Anybody getting ready for school for like the formal dresses for homecoming or whatever's coming up, Camille has about 40 formal wear dresses.
Really?
Yes.
That's big. I mean, because I know a lot
of them. And they have this really cool, what is it called? A pegboard.
Okay.
And so they have the dresses hung along the pegboard so you could see them when you walk in.
Oh, nice. Kind of all on display. Not so not in a rack form, but in display.
No,
so you can,
they're on display so that way you can see them. And then they have little mannequins now that they have dressed up in dresses, and it's just fun.
Nice.
They are starting to bring out cool weather clothing. So they have like long sleeve shirts and windbreakers. Camille said they will start getting out the hoodies soon. Okay. And the hoodies, all hoodies are $2.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, so I know where I'm going hoodie shopping because I just like burned through my last one. It's not wearable anymore.
I have like 40 hoodies.
I'm a minimalist. All right, if I find one thing that I can use as the thing, that's my coat. So like I have one big winter coat. I had one hoodie, and now it's just destroyed. Plus, it was my fat guy hoodie from when I was like 300 pounds, so it was like billowy. So yeah, I think I'm due for a hoodie. I'll be making a stop by. So awesome. It sounds like you guys are well stocked over there. What are the hours of the thrift store?
The thrift store is 10 to 4:30.
Okay.
Wednesdays through Saturdays. They are closed Sundays and Mondays as well as we are. Or they're closed Tuesdays as well. Sorry. They're closed Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. They're there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 to 4:30. And they are also there on Tuesdays, going through the donations from the weekend, stocking, cleaning the store, stuff like that. So if you need to donate stuff on a Tuesday, they will be there now. Instead of working on Mondays, they switched it to Tuesdays.
Cool. So thrift store open, she said, Wednesday through Saturday. So plenty of opportunities to get in there and spend some money. Remember, everything you spend in the thrift store goes to benefit the Humane Society and take care of what their needs are and feed the animals and keep them happy. What are you guys? What are the needs the Humane Society right now? You guys have any major needs?
People to work.
Employees. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Ironically, no. Our biggest need right now for any of the animals is going to be dry dog food.
Okay.
Dry cat food, cat litter. Those are the three major things that we can always use for donation. The cat litter, you can just get the cheapo clay stuff. It doesn't have to be the scoopable because we get the cardboard flats from like the liquor stores and grocery stores, and we use them as disposable litter boxes.
Okay.
So it cuts down on odor and spreading of viruses, and we don't have to scoop them. We just pull that out, throw it away, and give a fresh. So we typically try to just stick to the clay cat litter because it's cheaper.
I was so happy when I found out that the special kitty cat litter at Walmart is like $5.99 because I had been bougie with my litter. I'd been buying like the Tidy Cat stuff, like in the buckets, thinking, well, it's what I have to do. $15 for some litter every time I had to change my litter boxes. $6. What the heck?
Yep. And then for cat food, if you want to pick up some cat food, we try to keep to the Purina One cat chow.
Okay.
We try to stick to specific brands, specifically because changing food randomly can cause digestive issues.
Boy, do I know that.
And so we don't want to cause them any medical issues while they're there with us. If they develop issues, we want to tend to them and take care of them, but we don't want to be the cause of them.
Gotcha.
And a lot of the times, cats don't react well to red dyes anyways. They'll typically throw it up. So we try to find something that's all natural, brown colors, or like a light green, and the Purina Naturals has it too. But those are the reasons we ask for specific foods, is because we don't want to do just random changes and cause digestive issues.
Gotcha.
For the dogs, recently we've been using the Members Mark at Sam's Club.
Okay.
It's all brown.
Right.
And it's pretty cost effective, and its ingredients are comparative to other like Purina One and Pedigree.
Sure.
And that's all natural. The main reason we look for foods without red dye for dogs is because when we're looking for illnesses as parvo or anything like that,
We check the stools.
That
makes sense.
And red dye tints the stools. And sometimes it can make it look like it is blood.
It's the same reason that Mike can't have any red or orange popsicles before he goes into a colonoscopy. He explained that. He's like, we're not allowed to have red, anything red flavor or red colored. I'm like, well, that makes sense.
So we try to stick to certain foods just so that way we're not doing changing of them. We do still feed the Pedigree adult chicken flavored because the beef does have the red dye. We do mix the Pedigree and the Members Mark together so that way it can last a little longer. Excuse me, sorry. And that way it's bigger pieces for the bigger dogs and then smaller pieces for the smaller dogs.
Okay.
But the Members Mark is pretty neutral size, so big and small could eat it easily.
Awesome. So definitely needs for dog food, for cat food, and for cat litter. So if you can make any donations or monetary donations, obviously always accepted at the Humane Society, and it's going to a fantastic cause. There's not a lot of overhead at the Humane Society, so trust that most of your money is going to be going towards taking care of the animals.
If you want to become a member, our membership enrollment starts October for 2023.
Okay.
God, that sounds weird saying that.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it.
So October starts 2023's memberships. It's still time to sign up for this year, and we can get you a newsletter for this year and then get you started on next year's as well. You can do the membership online, or you can come in person. You can mail in a check, and we'll get you situated.
Excellent. And walkers? You guys looking for walkers still?
Yes. And as the weather's getting a lot better, the time is a lot more lenient.
More later in the day.
Yeah, so when it's not 100 degrees outside, the asphalt doesn't heat up super quickly. So in the cooler months, we can schedule you AM or PM.
Gotcha.
Because we don't want the dogs to burn their feet or the people to get overheated and the dogs to get overheated.
Makes sense.
Because it gets too hot here.
That totally makes sense. Fellas, if you're a single, you're looking to score, nothing looks better on the end of a leash than a cute little puppy when you're walking it. Hey, ladies. Oh, this? No, it's not mine. I volunteer for the Humane Society. See there? That's 2 points. I'm just saying, you got to utilize the tools that the world gives you sometimes. So awesome. So if folks want more information about the Humane Society or what you guys are doing, your mission, how do they find you?
They can call down to the Humane Society, 622-8950. They can also go on the website, roswellhumane.org. They can email me, and the email is listed on the website. I'm not going to spill it out because people ain't got time to write that down.
Right.
But they can come in. We're at 703 East McGaffey. They can go on the website. If they have any questions, they can email us or call us.
Closed Sunday, Monday, correct?
We're closed Sundays and Mondays. Every Sundays and Mondays. And then the only other time we're closed during the week is like a major holiday or something.
Gotcha. Okay, so there you go, folks. If you
and Halloween doesn't count as a major holiday.
No, it does not. Even though we're trying, we've called our senators. They haven't pushed it through the legislation just yet. Well, Ms. Crystal, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll get you scheduled up for next month. I understand you're not going to be here for the first week, but we'll get you scheduled for later in the month.
Yes.
As well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. 9 minutes away from 10 o'clock. Let's pause and get you up to date with some local news.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The town of Dexter continues mourning after the loss of a high school football player in a horrible car crash last week. Another boy is still fighting for his life at a hospital. Justice Sanders and Wyatt Garner were both badly injured. Sanders, a passenger in the car, later died of his injuries. The Dexter football team is now raising money for the boys and their families. They've already raised $10,000, and they hope to continue. The Eddy County Commissioners have unanimously agreed to give sheriff's deputies and jail guards a pay raise. Newly hired jail personnel will also get a $5,000 signing bonus. The sheriff telling commissioners in a memo, the sheriff's office has seen an overall decline in the number of employees every month for the past 9 months. In fact, right now, there are 18 vacant positions, the majority of them in the patrol division. The jail itself has more than 30 job openings. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Washington Post board is lashing out. He's getting a lot of heat, Joey, for a 60 Minutes interview. He's talking about inflation. Scott Pelley had to say, first of all, Mr. President, the annual inflation rate's 8.3%. The stock market's nosediving. People are shocked at their grocery bills. Well, put this in perspective, he says. What do you mean put it in perspective? 2/3 of the country are living paycheck to paycheck. The perspective is they're struggling because your policies are all screwed up. Guess what? He started whispering. We're in a position where the last several months, it hasn't spiked. And yet it hasn't spiked. Hasn't spiked. You inherited 1.4%. It spiked.
The conservative underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
War, inflation, and $30 trillion in debt. It's looking like 2008 all over again. Millions of Americans watch their retirement savings disappear, while those who invested in physical gold and silver were protected. And if you have $50,000 or more in your IRA, 401k, or savings, you could be at risk again. Right now, thousands of Americans are using an IRS loophole to add physical gold and silver to their retirement savings. So call 855-815-GOLD to get a free gold kit and learn how you could get $10,000 or more in free silver to protect your retirement savings. Goldco has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and they have placed over $1 billion in precious metals. We could be looking at a recession worse than 2008, so don't wait. Call Goldco today. Call 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a cold front to our north. Doesn't look like it'll make it down into our area, so we'll stay pretty hot today. A little bit breezy during the afternoon, and our high should be around 90 with lots of sunshine. Overnight it'll be clear. We'll drop into the low 60s, and then about the same for Friday. We're expecting low 90s and sunshine. For the upcoming weekend, 90 to 95 and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. The number of Americans filing for jobless benefits rose slightly last week.
The Labor Department says applications for unemployment benefits for the week ending September 17th rose by 5,000 to 213,000. The increase comes despite the Federal Reserve's year-long battle against inflation that's intended to cool the economy and the tight labor market. Last week's number was revised down by 5,000 to 208,000, the lowest figure since May.
Correspondent Jeremy House. On the heels of the Fed's decision to hike its key interest rate, overseas, Britain's central bank has raised its key rate by another 0.5 percentage point to the highest level in 14 years. And the UK government this morning confirms it is lifting a ban on fracking in England. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Welcome to Constitution Education Minute. The Fourth Amendment to our Constitution reads, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." An important point to remember is we are not free from all searches and seizures, only unlawful ones. There are 5 elements that are required for each lawful search: a proper warrant based upon probable cause, supported by an oath before common law court describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. There are no other exceptions to your right to property in the Fourth Amendment. All searches and seizures that don't have all 5 elements present are in violation of your constitutionally recognized right to be secure in your persons and property. Know your rights. Protect and defend them for yourselves and your posterity. Constitution Education Minute, sponsored by Republican Party of Eddy County.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
I'm State Representative Greg Nibert. New Mexico ranks 50th in child well-being, and this statistic is not acceptable. Too often we see in the news where a child taken into state custody is returned to an abusive situation only to suffer more abuse, sometimes resulting in death. Chavez County is not immune. Chavez County CASA and its staff and volunteers understand the system and where things go wrong. I have met with CASA to understand how we need to create a better system of caring for abused and neglected children and to break the cycle of abuse. I listen to local experts and then engage the state agency at the highest levels. I will support legislation to bring about positive change. I ask for you to vote for me, Greg Nibert, to allow me to continue to be your effective conservative voice in Santa Fe. Voting begins on October 11th and Election Day is November 8th. Please vote Greg Nibert for State Representative District 59.
Paid for by Greg Nibert for State Representative, Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
We teach our kids to say please and thank you to total strangers. But we get so familiar in our marriages and families, we stop being polite to each other. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie Smotherman, for the Joy of Marriage.
In the love chapter of 1 Corinthians 13, it says that love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. We emphasize being polite to each other in our family, which promotes an attitude of respect and brings peace in our home. Remember your manners with the person you love the most. Appreciate the things they do for you and let them know.
Being polite to each other can help you avoid conflict. Let's be polite to strangers, but let's not give our best to the people we don't live with. Let's give our best to each other.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
Hey, good morning. Closing in on 10 o'clock. That's going to do things from our end. Stay tuned. Travis and Sexton up next. Mike back in your radios tomorrow morning. See you tomorrow.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
I'm John Scott. The number of Americans filing for jobless benefits rose